March 3rd, 2015 Birmingham City Council meeting is called to order. We have our invocation by Father Alex Steinmiller, President Holy Family Crystal Ray Catholic High School, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Good morning, servants of the people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's just call to mind for a moment that we are in God's presence. What do you want to say to God this morning? And what does God want to say to you? Lord God, when I was preparing to pray to you in behalf of the council this morning, 5 images came to me: light, treasure, mirror, compass, and recorder on my video. Light. God, we pray today to see and to understand. Treasure. We want to be grateful for everything that you do for us. It's all a gift. Mirror. You help us face up to our failures, and thank you for the people who cross our path today who tell us the truth. Compass. What, Lord, do you want me to do today? And what do you need from me to do? And finally, recorder on my video. At the end of the day, I look back on this day. I pay attention to where you've been in my life. I look for where you have been and how you bless me. We ask all this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Councilmember Hoyt. Councilmember Lundy. Councilmember Parker. Present. Councilmember Rafferty. President Pro Tem Roberson.
Present.
Councilmember Scales.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Tyson. President Austin.
Present. Thank you. The minutes are not ready from November 18th through February 24th. We have the announcements of boards and agencies.
Yes, sir. We have vacancy with the Jefferson County Intellectual and Development Disabilities Authority. Jane Ness, 6-year term, expires April 1st, 2015, and is under the Public Safety Committee.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, councilors.
Good morning.
March the 1st through the 7th, 2015 is designated as Women in Construction Week. We have Bernita Woodbury, President of Greater Birmingham National Association of Women in Construction, and Ms. Latrice Slade with Land Use, Environmental, and Transportation Planning here to accept a proclamation on behalf of the City of Birmingham. Ladies. Mr. President and councilors, one of the things that my administration has tried to do is to include more women in all of the projects that we've done, and these 2 young ladies represent the best that we have to offer in terms of women being involved in the construction trade. Many of you know Latrice from her activities and working on different projects for the City of Birmingham, and Bernita, you probably recall when the Crossplex was coming along, she was the face of the Crossplex project. So they truly represent women in the construction trade. Come on up here. Tell me your name.
I'm Amber Kinney.
I'm a hugger. Come on. Hey. Anyway, this morning we want to issue this proclamation, and it states, whereas the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 has distinguished itself for 47 years as the voice of women in construction in Greater Birmingham, and the work done by the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 has benefited Greater Birmingham through community development and educational programs, and whereas the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 has unceasingly promoted the employment and advancement of women in the construction industry, and whereas the construction community represented by Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 has been a driving force in fostering community development through renovation and beautification projects, promotion of skilled trade careers, and positive vision of the future. And whereas the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 has sought to achieve successful results for Greater Birmingham and surrounding areas in cooperative spirit with other organizations. Now, therefore, I, William A. Bell, Sr., Mayor of the City of Birmingham, Alabama, and the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53, no, that's not right. Now, therefore, I, William A. Bell, salute the Greater Birmingham Chapter number 53 and its many dedicated volunteers for its steadfast work on behalf and support of women in construction, do hereby proclaim the week of March the 1st through the 7th, 2015 as 2015 Women in Construction Week in Birmingham, and encourage all of our citizens to congratulate the organization on its many accomplishments. Ladies, on behalf of the City of Birmingham, we want to commend you all on the outstanding job that you're doing in promoting women in the construction trade and making sure that we always do it right. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Bell. We are really appreciative of the opportunity for women to have opportunities in construction in the City of Birmingham. I'm very grateful for the proclamation that was given to us today. We have a series of events that we have scheduled. And we want to ask other women to join our organization. So with that, thank you.
Mr. Pro Tem. I just want to thank you, Mayor, for recognizing those women, Latrice and others that are present. Matter of fact, Ms. Slade, I want to commend you on your efforts with the Negro League Museum and the work that's being done right now under your administration. So I just want to thank you all for coming out and thank the Mayor for acknowledging those women that are doing great work in construction in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. Also, the month of March is designated as Alabama iBank Donor Month. We have representatives from the Alabama iBank here to receive a proclamation on behalf of the City of Birmingham. Would you all please come forward? Yeah. Come on. I see you. We want to recognize this important aspect of our community and the work that the iBank does in terms of helping to give people sight and vision, and to encourage all of us to consider donating to this worthwhile cause. And the proclamation reads, whereas the Alabama iBank has provided the gift of sight for 47 years, and whereas thousands of successful human corneal transplants have been performed in the state of Alabama, restoring the priceless gift of sight to many Alabamians. And whereas this work was made possible in great part by the Alabama iBank and the bequest of gifts of many persons who directed that their eyes be used for restoring sight to others after their death. And whereas the great strides of medical science today are saving the sight of many more visually impaired persons, and are creating the need for much more eye tissue and the attendant need for a means of obtaining the tissue. And whereas it is fitting that we should recognize this great undertaking and the need for providing a means of enabling it to help others. Now, therefore, I, William A. Bell, Sr., Mayor of the City of Birmingham, Alabama, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2015 in Birmingham as Alabama iBank iDonor Month. And we urge all of our citizens to join me, along with the council, to express deepest appreciation of the important service provided by this distinguished organization in our city. I want to present this proclamation to you, and please keep up the good work, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Second year coming back, I wanted to say thank you for having us back, and I want to just continue to communicate how important it is that we are registered donors, so that, to take it in point, there are 12,000 something people that get to see every year because of what we do. And if we don't have the tissue, we can't restore people's sight. We can't help them find their purpose and restore their hope to being able to do what they normally would do, to read a spreadsheet or to grill or to pull hair back and the children see presents opened, all this. It's just that whole point of focusing and asking, what would I miss if I couldn't see right now? And that motivation is what we really drive and try and hope that we communicate, that it is important that you are a registered donor, and secondly, that your family members and loved ones know at that time your wishes and dream to, be a registered donor and contribute your body to restore people whose sight is gone, blind, and allow them to, see again. So we're grateful. Thank you again for everything you guys do.
Councilor Abbott.
Yes. I wanted to ask, is there any age limit on donations of eyes and eye parts? Are there some things that are good forever, or are there things that just don't make it?
No, that's a very good question. Yes, we will usually cut off around 70, 75, but we could also rule you out if you're 21, 23 years old. It's just health circumstances. And so there are certain circumstances that will rule you out immediately, just based on health issues, the way you passed away. But typically, average, you can be 70, 75 years old, great health, and still be able to donate your tissue and it not be a problem. Beforehand, not even 6 months ago, if you had cataracts, if you had glaucoma, if you had certain diseases, if you had LASIK, you couldn't be an eye donor. But advances in technology have now opened that opportunity up, that you can get LASIK surgery and still be an eye donor. And so these are just important urban legend things. Paramedics are not going to not take care of you if they see you're a donor. That's going to happen. They're going to take care of you. The whole do no harm thing they're kind of important about. So, there's just urban legend things that we want to do our best to communicate and get rid of. So it's a very good question, and it's all based on your health, not really your age.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. This Saturday, the Alabama Money Expo will be held at Carver High School from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This morning, we have with us Tim Clay and Penny Southward here to give us more details. Tim, Penny.
I think I'm going to have to stand alone, Mayor.
Okay.
Miss Penny isn't here.
Okay.
Hello, Council. My name is Tim Clay. I have a business, accounting and business consultants. We're located in Avondale. And I'd like to start out by, first of all, thanking the mayor for supporting the Money Expo. This is the second year that he has supported us. And I'd also like to just thank the city for supporting our firm in getting the building in Avondale. It was an old city firehouse we were able to purchase. So thanks a lot for all that you do for us. The University of Georgia does a study every year. It says that the African-American community has $1.1 trillion in spending dollars. And, sometimes you wonder, where does that go? What do we do with it? And I know that the council has had a great interest in some of the businesses located in your districts that you think are predatory. So we have an organization called Financial Education Outreach that really is all about teaching people how to handle their money better. We go into schools, we go into community centers, we go to libraries, we teach youth, adults, retirees about how to handle their money better. And our flagship event is this Saturday. I've bought a lot of propaganda. I'll leave it out there for you. It's called the Money Expo 2015, and we're going to have, it's free admission, one-on-one with financial planners, free tax prep, FAFSA preparation, credit checks, credit counseling. So it's just something I would like to invite all the council members out to. If you want to let your people in your district know, it's free again, and I'd love for as many of you all to come as possible.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate the work that you're doing in the community as well. Mr. President, several weeks ago, we sent proclamations and resolutions of condolences to a gentleman who taught many of us in this community how to play instruments. And I never will forget the day that John Springer came and pulled Sam Crawford and myself out of the 6th grade classroom at Center Street Elementary School and told us that we were going to learn how to play the bass horn. And we spent that first year in the 6th grade learning all the basics of playing the bass horn. And I can recall we were bored with it because the bass horn was always a background. You know, it carried the bass notes, and it just framed all the other instruments. And one day, he brought a gentleman to Center Street School by the name of Cleve Eaton. And these two gentlemen got up there with their bass violins and showed how those instruments could be principal instruments and play music like you've never heard it before. This morning, I want to take time to recognize the great jazz legend, Mr. Cleve Eaton. Cleve, if you would, come on up here. Mr. Eaton was born in Fairfield, Alabama on August 31st, 1939. He has been a member of such distinguished orchestras as the Billy Eckstine Orchestra, Henry Mancini, and has laid down the smooth bass lines for the likes of vocalists Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and even Frank Sinatra. On last week, Mr. Eaton was honored by Alpha Phi Alpha Omicron Lambda chapter, I better get that right, for Black History Month. This morning, I would like to present him a key to the city. And Cleve, I know you've been all around the world, but you've always came back home. And we want to thank you for bringing your musical talents not just to the world, but to every young person here in this community. And the legacy that you leave will last many, many decades to come. So Cleve, thank you so much.
Thank you. To the mayor, William Bell, and the city council, and my family is here with me today. Got my wife, Myra, and my grandkids, Casey, Cameron.
Cleve, why don't you bring them all up?
Yeah, Cameron, Casey, and Cardin Dickerson, and my wife, Myra Eaton, also. Thank you.
Yeah, and up there, boys.
You know, this is one of the greatest honors in my 60 years playing. I've gotten a lot of awards and things, but this is the greatest one to get the key to my city from the mayor and from the city council. I'd like to also present to you, I have an album that I have for the next mayor. And I think it's going to be William Bell anyway. I don't mean to start nothing or anything. But this is a tune called the Birmingham Train. And it says, the only words it is, the Birmingham Train is moving on. And they told me to give this to someone and play track 4. Yeah, track 4. All right. And this was, I really started these things back when the black mayors came in, and this is the cover that's for Mayor William Bell. Because like I said, I really think he's going to be our next mayor. So he would be the next Birmingham Train for me. Which on this time, first time the Birmingham Train only went to one city, and that was here. But this time I paid it where, because he gets around the world. So I got this one going through New York, Chicago, and everywhere with the Birmingham Train. And again, I want to thank you, man, because this is one of the greatest honors I think I've ever gotten in my 60 years. And I understand we are supposed to, my grandson and I, Cameron Dickerson, we're going to do a tune that Basie used to do, a tune called There Will Never Be Another You. That's the this tune. Thank you. And I just got out of surgery, by the way, so this is going to be kind of lightweight.
Thank you, Cleve.
Thank you. Hey, look, I have one more thing to say. I won't be able to walk in my house if I don't mention my daughter, Connie Carson, please. She's going to get all our help us with everything, as a matter of fact. But thank you. Thank you, Cleve. Thank you,
Well, thank you, Cleve. And we want to recognize your grandson, Cameron. He's really turned into a fantastic musician. Thank you. Oh, I know he's gigging with you. Mr. President, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce that the RISE program that has been developed by our Community Development Department under the leadership of John Colon has been selected by the Harvard Kennedy Ash Center of Governors as a bright idea. which represented exemplary models in ways to address community issues and the needs of local governments and municipalities. As you know, we announced RISE some time ago, and we're going through the implementation process. And John, I just want to thank you all for making the presentation to Harvard, and I know other organizations are looking at this as a model that we can take to other places. And so I want to thank you and the entire staff for the work that you do. And you want to make any comments about it?
Good morning, Mayor Bell, and to the City Council. Today, we would like to share with you the honor and recognition the Mayor's RISE initiative has recently received by the Harvard Kennedy School Ash Center for Democratic Governance and Innovation through their Bright Ideas initiative. This initiative serves to recognize exemplary governmental programs and practices that look to address community issues through innovative and bold approaches, and feature them as examples and models for other cities to observe. This designation does not only include a feature and recognition by the esteemed Harvard University's government network, but will also include a seal bearing the Harvard name, which can be showcased or referenced on any marketing materials if the city so chooses. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amber. Thank you, John. That's all I have at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do you have any council members wish to address the mayor? Councilor Scales.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. I wanted to, well, first of all, good morning to you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to give a couple of concerns that we have in District 1. This particular one is on Cimarron Trail. The citizen is requesting a pickup of trash and debris along Valley Crest Drive. That's Valley Crest Drive. And I also wanted to know, Mr. Mayor, if you can kind of give us an update. I was excited about the $10 million that was given to Public Works in this particular budget over in last year. And I'm just trying to figure out some things in terms of some of the cleanliness of the city issues that we have. We've been getting a lot of calls about it, and just trying to get a better understanding. I really thought that once we fully funded the Public Works Department this time, that would have done some increase in maybe even temporary personnel and equipment that needed to be either repaired or replaced. So if you can kind of enlighten me, Mr. Mayor, or Public Works can let me know what they're doing.
I'll have Mr. Fancher give you an update on that. Last week we had Mr. Charlie Williams here, and he talked about the several of the programs that we've instituted that's going through the process of cleaning up the city, working in conjunction with the court system as well as the police department. We have equipment updates. We also have new equipment, litter cams that we're going to be distributing throughout the city in a number of ways to cut back on the amount of litter that's on our street. But Mr. Fancher, when he's available, will be happy to bring the council up to date.
Okay, one last request, Mr. President, is that, Mr. Mayor, I know that Ms. Oden within Public Works had been a little under the weather, so if you don't mind to kindly ask Mr. Fancher to have her to call me because those beautifications that our office is supporting the various neighborhoods with, we want to see those things implemented. And I know she's been under the weather, and I want to be sensitive in that regard. But if she can call us and we can schedule a meeting with those neighborhood officers, that would be great. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilor Hoyt, who's not here and present today, he did provide me with a report for the mayor. Mr. George McCall, president of the Inslee neighborhood, is complaining that properties with overgrown grass are in the area, and there's a list of attached properties that go back to October 16th, 2014 that were submitted. Up to this date, it has not been cut by Public Works Department, and I have a list of properties. 13 properties actually have asterisks on the report, and I'm going to submit this on behalf of Councilor Hoyt for Public Works consideration. That's it, Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Tyson.
Good morning, and thank you, Mayor. The residents next door to 908 Washington Avenue Southwest, it's a vacant house in a overgrown lot. where homeless people are living in the house and exposing themselves to the community. And he has a wife and daughter there, and they are very concerned about that, and we want to know how soon can we get that house boarded up. The residents in Powley neighborhood want someone to come out and look at their house after the paving of the street. It's a dip between his driveway and the street from the construction, and it keeps his car driving, and the address is 121 and 125 and Drive, and that's in the Powley neighborhood. Also, trucks driving down Dennison Avenue where they fill the potholes at. It actually, where they fill the potholes at, the trucks have pushed that asphalt down, and it is made, you know, it's still a dip there on Dennison Avenue. And I don't know the solution besides paving Dennison Avenue, because it still dips in the street. I was over there this morning, and they're just coming back right after they paved them. With so many trucks come down that road, the dips come right on back. And it's a resident at 9 Spring Haven Circle Southwest in the Woodland Park neighborhood. Our house is actually shifting off of the foundation because of all of the cargo and the trains that's on that track, and her house is right next to the track. And it is constantly coming out, and she would like for someone to actually come out from the city to look at this. That's 9 Spring Haven Circle Southwest. Thank you, ma'am.
Councilor Parker? Okay. Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I do have a couple reports for the mayor's office. West Goldwire and neighborhood, and also Powley, were pleased to hear that we are addressing the 18-wheelers coming through the community, and the mandating of those trucks not being able to pass through, I guess, fairways at 24th Street Southwest, routes that are now being, I guess, damaged due to the heavy weights of the trucks. So they were happy to hear that. The mayor's office is looking into that. The storefront that's on 24th Street Southwest, it was burned a few years ago. I wish we could investigate. I was glad to hear about the RISE program moving forward. Investigate the ownership of that property. It definitely needs to be addressed. It's a nuisance, and it looks really bad. That's right there next to the barber shop on 24th Street Southwest. There's a building on Ethel Avenue in Powley that's also, I'd like to see if we can investigate the ownership of that, and who has a title on that building that needs to be demolished. And on Pearson Avenue and 24th Street, there's a small, well, used to be a gas station that's now was a retail store. It's no longer even operable. So the Seventh-day Adventist Church right there on Pearson Avenue and 24th Street would like to look at purchasing that lot to expand parking for that property. So we could look into that, and if I could assist, actually the president of Powley neighborhood, Veronica Johnson, attends that church, and they want to look at some expansion opportunity for parking, which would be a good use for future reference for that church. Thank you, Mr. President. That ends my report. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, we're ready to move on with the consideration of the consent agenda.
Okay. Consent agenda starts on page 2 with items 2 and 3. Page 3, you have items 4 through 7 on consent. Page 4, items 8 through 11 are on consent. Page 5, item 12, as well as items 14 through 17 are on consent. Page 6, items 18 through 21 are on consent. Page 7, items 22 and 23 are on consent. We skip over to page 9. Item number 31 is on consent. And that concludes the consent agenda.
All right. Do we have any members of the council who wish to add or remove any items from the consent agenda? Council Scales?
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 2, I'd like to have removed, or if I can actually have the question answered, Mr. President, we can leave it on consent. That's page 2.
Go ahead.
My question is, in terms of recreation center improvement, replacement of gym floors and the amount of money that is involved, My question was, is that money being transferred from another project, or is that the money that was already approved for that project?
Mr. Mayor, you got someone to answer? Mr. Bidders? Okay.
Councilor, the gym floor replacement project is complete, and we have some surplus left in that fund, so we're transferring that money to the Cooper Green Park to build a storage building.
All right. Okay, Mr. President, that can remain on consent. With that having said, on page number 4, I had a question, so I'd like to remove that, item number 8. Also, on page 4, item number 10, I'd like to remove.
8 and 10?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's make sure. Yes, sir, 8 and 10. Page 5, item number 13, I'd like to add to consent, unless that has to be verbally spoken. Okay, so then we won't add it. All right. Also, okay, because you don't have it on consent anyway, but if anyone has anything about item 24, then I will respectfully just object, because I have a question on that. Item number 26, page 8. Like to add that to consent, please. Also, item number 30, page 9, I'd like to add to consent, please.
You want to add on at page 8 before you leave, you want to do 26 and 27?
Those are public hearings.
It was setting a public hearing.
Say it one more time, Mr. President.
We always announce those. We never put them on consent.
I didn't ask for 27. Okay, 26. Oh, okay.
Clerk, we can't
Because
add
we
those.
passed that in committee, so I didn't know, it didn't say public hearing, not on item number
I mean,
26.
it just, there's no issue with them if you let the public know that the items are public hearing, they can come and speak to them or whatever. We've done that several times, even setting them. But
Right.
it's up to council if you want to just read them, so public will have knowledge of it. That's up to council.
Do you object to them being on?
Yeah, the point to me is to have it said out loud so that the public knows there's a public hearing. And that's been our policy for the 13 years I've been on the council, is to always announce a public hearing.
Okay,
Then
so
that's
she
fine.
objects to
Then I'll just
26 and
withdraw,
27.
I'll withdraw item number 26. I'll
Okay.
withdraw that consent. Also, item number 30, page 9, I'd like to add to consent, please. And,
I object.
okay,
That hasn't been to committee.
sure, not a problem. And item number 32, I'd like to add to consent. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay. Counselor Abbott?
Yes, did we consent item 25 on page 7?
Item 25, no. Would you like to add that to?
Yes, add that to consent, please.
Okay.
And we need to add the budget and finance recommendation on item 9 on page 4. No, I'm just saying, it has been to budget and finance. I want them to add that to the
Recommendation.
recommendation.
Just,
Can't be in the PIC.
And that's all, Mr. President. Thank
okay.
you.
Counselor Tyson?
Yes, I was on page 4, item 9. I need it to be referred to the PIC committee.
Okay, so you want to withdraw that from consent, remove that from consent? All right. That's it? Yes. All right. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak to an item that has been placed on the consent agenda marked as a public hearing? Approach the podium. If there's any member of the public who wish to speak to an item that has been placed on the consent agenda marked as a public hearing, you may now approach the podium.
Mr.
right.
President?
Yes.
32 is not an item, it's just announcement, that's all.
I got it. All right. Are there, all right. We have a mover and a second on the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to move the consent agenda.
Second.
Roberson Abbott.
Okay. Voting should be open now. Councilmember, yeah, that vote should be up.
All right, the consent agenda passes. First item, Mr. Clerk.
First item should be item number, we did it already. Item 1, you wouldn't here. Item 1, an ordinance to further amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2014-20, to change zone district boundaries from CR5, contingency multiple dwelling district, and C, O and I, contingency office and institutional district, to B2, general business district, filed by Chris Cole of Action Pack Design, representing the owner of Methodist Homes of Alabama, for property located at 1424 Montclair and situated in the southeast quarter of section 27, Township 17, South Range 2 West, in the hearing of all interested parties.
All right, we need to move it in a second.
I move approval.
Second.
Abbott Roberson. Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. President. This item is a public hearing. At this time, we'll have the case presented to us by Mr. Tim Gambrell from the Planning and Zoning Department. Mr. Gambrell.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, all. This is ZAC 2014-20. The proposed use is a campus expansion at Fairhaven to include a dental clinic, short-term stay rehabilitation, doctor's office, and pharmacy. The subject 32-acre property is located at 1424 Montclair Road, between Crest Hill Road and Montclair Road in the Crestline neighborhood. The property abuts single-family homes to the north and west, all of which are zoned R2, single-family district. South and east of the property are zoned for commercial uses. The campus anticipates offering several services to improve the quality of life of its residents as well as the surrounding community, in addition to offering the full continuum of care, independent living, assisted living, skilled nursing, including short-term stay rehabilitation, and community area. The community area will offer several amenities, such as a restaurant and a dining venue, which would be only utilized by the residents and their guests, and a gift store. Other anticipated amenities on the campus include a pharmacy, dental clinic, outpatient rehabilitation, and doctor's offices, all that could serve both the residents and the surrounding community. The applicant's proposal complies with the BT zoning district regulations. The total parking requirement is 184 parking spaces, and the applicant shows 316 on site. The applicant must make a request from the ZBA for a special exception for a communal living facility. The applicant met with Crestline and Crestwood South Neighborhood Association's Executive Committee at a special call meeting at the proposed site on December 3rd, 2004. The Executive Committee recommended approval by the request by a vote of 5-0. Subsequently, the applicant met with the Crestline Neighborhood Association at their regularly scheduled meeting on January 22nd, 2015. The vote was taken 11 for approval, 0 for denial, and 2 abstentions. At its regular scheduled meeting on January 6th, 2015, the Zoning Advisory Committee voted to recommend approval of the applicant's request. Then the Planning and Zoning Committee of the City Council met on January 13, 2015, and voted to recommend approval of the request as QB2, Qualified General Business District, with the few conditions that are listed on the handouts that were provided to you this morning. That is all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gambrell, for reading the case for us this morning. Again, this item is a public hearing. Is the applicant present to speak to this item today? Please come forth and state your name for the record and your plans for this development.
Good morning, council members.
Good morning.
Staff. Mr. Mayor. My name is Chris Cole. I work with Action Pact. We are the developer and designer of the renovation that is taking place on the campus of Fairhaven. Fairhaven is the largest continuing care retirement community in the state of Alabama and a critical provider of care for seniors with dependent need in the city of Birmingham. This is about a 7-year process that the owners, Methodist Home, have been going through to effect a complete renovation and transformation for the delivery of what is called person-centered care. This will be the largest household person-centered care facility in the southeastern U.S. It will comprehensively reposition and renovate the entirety of the campus, and the rezoning will allow the partnership with UAB, the dentistry partnership that UAB and Methodist Home have on the campus to afford care to non-resident seniors in the community. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. What we'll do now is actually open this up to the public. Are there any comments from the public for or against this item at this time? Seeing none, any comments or questions from the council at this time? Councilor Abbott.
Good morning. I wanted to ask, at one time, this facility had locations on its campus for single-family residences, and I think there's still some there.
There are a few homes, yes.
Is that going to remain that option, or are they going away from that model?
A series of there are a series of homes that are on the campus. Those homes are actually owned by Methodist Home, and over a course of about 30 years, certain residents have asked for the opportunity to build homes and have created relationship with Methodist Homes. Over time, we will phase those homes out, and we will ultimately replace those homes with newer product. To be determined. In the first phase of renovation and expansion, there will be a handful of those homes that will ultimately be taken down and replaced with more homes. The scale of the product that we're delivering on those houses is a long-term care facility, so additional skilled residency, whereas the homes themselves are really independent living. Each of those residents is being relocated into other homes that are existing on the campus, which are being renovated for them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott. Councilor Scales.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My question is, because I am familiar with Fairhaven, and if you've said it already, then excuse me, just repeat it. I noticed that you're saying that you're expanding your housing part of it, and I thought it was unique that you're talking about putting a pharmacy on the campus. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do you currently have a pharmacy there?
No, currently
Because I didn't think you did.
No, there's not. Currently, pharmaceutical provision to skilled residents is handled on a contractual basis. Mm-hmm. The existing contract that we have, that particular provider would like to locate their pharmacy on our campus. Mm-hmm. That pharmacy actually provides pharmaceutical services to other long-term care campuses in the state of Alabama. Okay. So this would essentially be not for a public use. You're not going to be able to, it's not a drugstore where you would come in and have your pharmacy fulfill a prescription. These are packaged pharmaceutical provision to long-term care residents that are on long-term care campuses. It just so happens that they would like to locate it because of the central location on the Fairhaven campus.
Okay. I thought that was very unique. One last question for you, Mr. Gamble. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
You know, we always talking about this long-range comprehensive land use plan and all that. So this expansion, it appears to be very complementary of that, but I don't want to make that assumption. I would like for you to tell me that.
Well, actually, the area, I believe, is listed in the plan as, let's see. It's identified as residential medium. Mm-hmm. I think our anticipation at the time, you know, is Fairhaven as, you know, a communal living facility, that would fit into that use. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, in the interim, you know, they've come forward with this. You know, really, what necessitated this change is the dental clinic that's going to be available to the public. Okay. And so, you know, that was sort of the necessity that brought this forward. Mm-hmm. And so we felt like, you know, that it's not consistent with the plan, but it's not something that we're recommending against.
Okay, I get you. In other words, so it's not necessarily for, but you're not against either.
Right. You know, where the dental clinic will be located is adjacent to B2 property across the street from a little shopping complex there. Mm-hmm. And so and then the property is well screened and buffered from other, you know, non-similar uses. You know, to the north, there's a large ridge that, you know, is probably 500 feet of just wooded area that separates the residential from this facility. There's a nice buffer there. And then same to the west, there's an extensive buffer. And then the east and south face B2 property. So.
Yeah, because we always want to embrace, you know, expansion. I just wanted to know, when you're talking about expanding, obviously that means that long range, that's going to have some kind of effect, and hopefully that's positive and it goes along with what we paid all this money for.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you got it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Scales. Thank you, Mr. Gamber. Any other questions at this time from the council? You have all received the actual report of the case from the PEP with the Q conditions that are listed. If there's no other questions at the time, Mr. President, we're ready for the vote.
Mr. Clerk?
Okay. Voting should be open. That vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item.
Should be item 8, which is on page 4.
Okay.
A resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city to amend CDBG DR action plan to establish the activity of bus shelters within initial funding of $90,000 and increase the activity administration by $674,850, and to submit to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development any required documents relating to the amendment for the purpose of furthering the response to the April 27, 2011 disaster.
Mr. President?
Okay.
I move approval.
Second.
Abbott, Roberson. Do we have any questions? Any members of the council wish to speak to this item? Yes, sir. Councilor Scales.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only question I really had is, I know it's going to be in Pratt City. Are they going to replace the ones that were there prior to the storm and maybe some additions? I just wanted to know that.
Yeah, they're replacing some that were destroyed and then adding some additional ones to provide coverage for the users.
Okay, so you would say there's probably going to be a total of, do you have an idea? And
About 5 or 6 is what we're anticipating.
about 5 or 6? Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right, thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Do we have anyone else to speak to the item? We're ready to vote, Mr. Clark.
Okay. Should be open now. That vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item.
Should be item number 9, a resolution approving the agreement with Arcadius U.S. Incorporated, Birmingham, in an amount not to exceed $360,000, inclusive of any reimbursable expenses, to evaluate the feasibility and implementation of a stormwater utility for the city of Birmingham that comports with all requirements mandated by Act 2014-439, and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement on behalf of the city.
All right. Need to move in a second.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second. All right. Mr. Mayor.
I just wanted to say that this item came up once before, and the council referred it back to Budget and Finance. We're under a deadline to have this work done. It's ordered by an act of the legislature in which we have a certain time period to get it done, and we're up against that time period.
Councilor Tyson. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I wanted to see about when the contract never did come to the PIC committee. They only did an overview. We never did see anything else. So why they didn't present that when they came to PIC committee?
Who are you asking? Are you directing your question? The mayor?
To whoever can answer it.
Mr. Bittis.
Councilor, we presented the agreement to the Budget and Finance Committee last week. We should have a copy of the agreement in your packet.
She's asking that it came before PIC, from what I understand, but she said she didn't see a contract.
We never seen a contract, any of the other documents.
In PIC.
That's in PIC. We supposed to have seen that also. We never did see it.
We sent a copy of the contract to all council members, and we went back before the Budget and Finance Committee, but all council members should have a copy of that contract.
It's in our packet.
They never did go over it. Still, they still didn't come through the PIC committee with it.
All right. You done, Councilor Tyson? Are there any other members who wish to speak to the item? We're ready to vote. Mr. Clerk.
All right, voting should be open.
Councilor Scales.
Yes, Mr. President, if you don't mind, just to speak to the germane to the item only. So I just wanted to ask the chair of PIC, so are you comfortable with the answer you received?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. All right. What is the, Mr. President, if you don't mind, may I ask the mayor, what is the actual date of the deadline? What is your deadline, Mr. Mayor?
Councilor, we have about 90 to 120 days for us to complete that assessment, and you know it's going to take a while for us to go through this new law, for the consultant to come back with the data we need to make a to send back to the mayor and the council to make the recommendation how to proceed with the stormwater permit. So we need all the time we can have to allow the consultant to do their due diligence and give us good analysis to make a decision.
So what I was asking, the reason why I'm asking, Mr. President, is maybe we can, is if we can have a special call meeting just so that the PIC committee is abreast of the content. And but the reason being is because I don't even see it in my attachment. And I know that that was mentioned, but I don't see item number 8 in my attachment, so that we can see the content of it. But I mean, but if that's possible, I think that we can work with the mayor on that. But maybe just schedule a meeting just so that a special call meeting.
We have.
You may have it on there, but I don't have it on.
Yes, it's in on page 90 of our complete agenda packet.
Yes, sir.
And that was provided to the council, and just for.
No, I'm looking at mine. That's what I'm saying, Mr. President. Okay, it's item 9. Okay, right. I'm sorry. And yes, I do. I apologize, Mr. Mayor and President.
And what the Council President Pro Tem and I were talking about, this particular item contract has not been before PIC as it relates to the way that we're dealing with it. Is we've talked about it in the committees. I was chairman of PIC during my first term, and Mr. Pro Tem was the chairman during his first term. And we didn't have this item come before us. We voted on it year after year, but that particular item had not come before the committee the way that it is. We did discuss it, as we always do, but we discussed more of what actual work was taking place and not the particular contract. That always was taken up in budget and finance. But to your question, I think it would be prudent for the administration to at least meet with the chair of PIC and go over the questions that she has related to this item to make sure that she's fully abreast of what's going on, and I think that's reasonable.
Yes, and I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm trying to do this committee right, and I know when you assigned me to the committee, you wanted me to chair it correctly. So if I don't understand anything, and I feel like when they came, they should have had a full packet of everything, and they didn't. So if you want me to chair it right and to make right decisions for the citizens in this district and the city of Birmingham, you should have all your information there when they first had the committee meeting, but when I had the committee meeting.
So can we delay the item then, Mr. President?
Okay, let me.
With a time certain?
Let me hear from Councilor Avenue. We have a motion on the floor is to approve the item that's before us. If we don't have any other motions right now, and we're in the middle of voting for it. Councilor Abbott.
Well, this is my concern, and the reason that I would vote to go ahead and put this forth would be that this council will not have a meeting next week. So that means if we delay this, we'll delay it 2 full weeks, and that will take 2 full weeks out of the time that they have to do the work, and that would be the reason that I would be concerned, because of a 2-week delay can make a big difference in doing the work that needs to be done. It's time-consuming work, so that would be my concern. If the council was meeting next week, I would be fine with it. But only 3 of us are going to be in town, and we can't have a meeting.
Okay. Do we have a motion on that? What was suggested, I think, is probably the best course of action is we do need to take action on the item today, because it's and so we do need to take action on the item today. But Mr. Bittis was shaking his head saying that he could meet with the chair and the committee to go over the item and make sure that the chair is fully abreast. Mr. Bittis.
Council will be happy to have staff meet with Councilor Tyson this afternoon, right after the meeting, and bring her up to speed on the project. We'll be happy to do it today.
Okay.
I tend to think it would be the committee.
All right. So the items before us to vote, and we're in the middle of voting, so.
I'm missing Councilor Tyson and Scales. Well, I got Councilor Tyson, I'm sorry. Council Scales.
Mr. President, may I do this with all due respect, because
We're in the middle of
I just don't like going over the committee process, and I do want to support the item, but I do believe that we also need to have a discussion about it. So I will abstain, but it's not because I'm not in support of the item. I just wanted to make sure that that's clear.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I see it. Try it again. You got it. Is that correct? Your abstention? Okay.
All right. It's 2 abstentions. That item passes. Next item.
Oh, yeah. Item 10. A resolution approving the appointment with Building and Earth Sciences Incorporated Birmingham in an amount not to exceed $14,875 to provide subsurface exploration and geotechnical services for the sports field lighting project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the appointment on behalf of the city.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move approval.
Second.
Abbott Robertson.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that we send this to the Budget and Finance Committee for review.
I had a question about it.
The next Budget and Finance Committee.
Second, Councilor Scales.
But, Mr. President, if you don't mind, and I know because I'm, you know, I do have to work. If someone can tell me just very quickly, if you don't mind, sir, what is the sports field lighting project? That really was the question. What is that?
Yes, ma'am. One of the bond projects, Councilor, is to install or replace ball field lighting in several city parks. And what we have to do, because we're replacing sometimes wooden poles with concrete poles, we have to take some soil borings so we can determine the design for the footing of that pole. So we have several parks that we're going to put up new ball field lighting. A.G. Gaston Park, Fairmont Park, Grayson Park, Green Acres, Larry, Macklin, Stockholm Park, that requires some soil testing for us to design the footing for the new ball field lighting.
I think all you had to do was name the parks and I'm finished. Okay. You'll have my support when that comes back around. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. All right. Ready to vote to refer this to Budget and Finance?
Councilmember Parker.
Quick question, is this just gonna come back in, what, 2 weeks, you think, Ms. Abbott?
Yeah, the next Budget and Finance meeting will be next Thursday.
Okay.
It's
so
been
that
relocated.
So that
from-
following Tuesday, okay.
All right, that vote should be up.
That item passes, will be referred to Budget and Finance. Next item.
Should be item 13. A resolution appointing one member to the Zoning Board of Adjustments to serve as a supernumerary member.
Mr. Protein.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move the item.
Second.
All right. Roberson Abbott.
He'll handle it.
The Planning and Zoning Committee met, and it was brought to our attention that there's an opening for the supernumerary member for the Zoning Board of Adjustment. We are going to recommend to the council today Mr. Robert Littleton.
All right. Do we have any more names in nomination? We'll close on that nomination. Mr. Littleton. We're ready to vote, Mr. Clerk.
Okay. That vote should be up.
That item passes. Mr. Littleton will be appointed. Next item.
Should be item 24, which is on page 7, a resolution approving payment to drapery specialist Montgomery, Alabama, in the amount of $10,000 to provide exterior architectural lighting for the Democratic National Convention Review Team on July the 21st through the 22nd, 2014, in accordance with Section 3-1-7 of the Birmingham City Code.
We have a mover and a second.
I'd like to move the item, Mr. President.
Roberson Parker. Do you have any speakers to this item? We're ready to vote, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President,
Councilor Scales.
I was actually the one that brought it up, and I've since received some information. I guess my only question would be, since we know that it exceeded the amount, and have a great memory, but don't quite recall the total for this, can someone share with me the total? We see what it exceeded, but what was the initial amount requested regarding this item? If anyone knows. Can we table the item, Mr. President, till someone can share that with me?
You want to move the table?
Okay, I'd like to move, Mr. President, that we lay this item on the table until we can receive that information.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, that item, we'll take that up later in the meeting. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
All right, give me 1 second here.
26.
Okay.
You can read 26, 27.
26
and 28. And 29.
26, 27, 28, 29. All right. 26, a resolution setting a public hearing April the 14th, 2015 to consider the adoption of a resolution assenting to the vacation of 0.448 acres of Hatcher Place that runs parallel to and between 11th Avenue South and Caldwell Park, and perpendicular to and between 26th Street South and Highland Avenue on behalf of Virginia Sanford Theater and the City of Birmingham owners, so that Virginia Sanford Theater can renovate and expand their lobby. Case number SUB 2014-76. Item 27, a resolution setting a public hearing April the 14th, 2015 to consider the adoption of a resolution assenting to the vacation of 5,223 square feet of an open alley that bisects Block 488 and runs parallel to and between Messer Airport Highway and 6th Avenue North and perpendicular to and between CSX Railroad Tracks and 32nd Street North on behalf of LP Swan Properties LLC owner, so that the owner can consolidate his property into one lot. Case number SUB 2014-78. Item 28, a resolution setting a public hearing April the 14th, 2015 to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the City of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2014-19, to change zone district boundaries from R5 multiple dwelling district to QB1 qualified neighborhood business district, filed by Alexander W. Jones Jr., owner for property located at 2231 20th Avenue South and 2012 23rd Street South, situated in the southeast quarter of Section 6, Township 18 South, Range 2 West, Birmingham. And 29, a resolution setting a public hearing April the 14th, 2015 to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the City of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2015-1, to change zone district boundaries from CO&I, contingency office and institutional district to R3 single-family residential district, filed by Pat Williams, representing the owner, Habitat for Humanity, for the property located at 7824 2nd Avenue South, situated in the southwest quarter of Section 11, Township 17 South 2 West, Birmingham.
All right, you need a mover in a second.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second.
Abbott, Parker. We'll vote on 26 and 27, Mr. Clerk, and then we'll have to do 28 and 29 separate, right? Or can we do it all at once?
You can do them all at once.
Okay, all right, we're voting on all of them.
Voting should be
26,
open.
27, 28, 29.
Oh, this is not a, you know, it's set in the public hearing. This is first reading for all of them. What about 27? Is that the first reading? Lee? That's the final one? It's not the final one? Okay, well, we're good.
Okay.
All right, that vote should be up.
All right, those items passed. The public hearing set for all of them. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Should be item 30, which is just, okay. Below 29 on page 9, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an owner's representative services agreement with Steel City Services LLC, under which Steel City will provide owner's representative services to the city for projects assigned to Steel City by the mayor for a term of 12 months. And the city will pay Steel City an amount equal to 4 3/4% of the amount budgeted for projects assigned to Steel City as compensation for the services.
All right.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move approval.
Second.
I have a question
Abbott,
too,
Roberson,
Mr. President.
Councilor Scales.
Yes, sir. On item number 30, I know that it was asked for to be referred. And my question is, and this is more primarily to the mayor, do we have current time-sensitive projects on the table that involves this company? I know in the past we've had, so that's why I'm asking you that this morning.
Councilor, City Service has been working with us for the last couple of years on several projects, and I can kind of mention a few of them. He's working on the Negro League Museum. He worked on Cooper Green Park, Fire Station 4 in Oxmoor, Fire Station 18 in Pratt City. He's working also with us on the Police West Precinct and also Wyland Library currently, and other small projects. But he's always active helping the city managing these projects. And we have projects come online, we actually kind of ask him for his assistance.
Right, I agree. I'm familiar with the services that they provide. My question is, because we will not have a council meeting on next week, my question is, do we have any time-sensitive projects that will require us to delay this item today, knowing that we will not have a council meeting on next week?
Well, Councilor, his contract actually expired. You know, we renew his contract every year, and his contract expiring January 24th. So we're trying to renew it for this year as well. So he's actively working on projects. We just need to kind of continue his services. That's why we came back and asked for renewal of his agreement.
Okay. All right. So, but I hear time sensitivity without you saying it, because basically his contract has expired. So he's working, but he's not working under a contract.
Yeah, his contract expired January 24th, and that's why we're trying to get it renewed as soon as possible. I mean, he continues to work, but and he's always active with us. So he's, you know, but we need to proceed with the renewal at your convenience. I mean, as soon as you can.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was probably going to be more time sensitive, and it is, because how else will that company get paid? But nevertheless, I understand. Yeah, because again, I know that we override committee processes all the time, and I'm just saying that I would hope that this would fall underneath that if the contract has expired, and we know it takes a while for us to process payments here. So that's why I was saying, if at all possible, if the questions could be answered. I was hoping that whatever questions could have been answered, just because of the kind of projects that they're supervising.
You have a motion?
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. We would like to continue his services, retain his service without any, you know, stoppage. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. President.
You have a motion?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I have a question before the motion. So now, in the company I work for, when we have contracts that have accidentally expired that we didn't know were about to expire, the person continues to work while we revive the contract. So are you saying that because this man's contract has expired, he quit working the day it expired?
No, ma'am. He continues to assist us. You know, of course, we cannot process, you know, payments until we get the contract, you know, approved. Right,
okay, so is there a reason that you haven't put this on the committee agenda? Did y'all just forget?
Yes, ma'am. We actually overlooked the expiration date, and you know that's what happened. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not going to make a motion to send it to committee, okay. But I do wish that we had a come-up file that people could remember when contracts are expiring. Maybe we can work on that with our new computers.
And Mr. President, and I do want to say thank you to Councilor Abbott, because I am familiar with when I was chair of economic development, and I knew that there were some ongoing projects, and I was just hoping that we didn't have a glitch in there, and so I'm glad that we could resolve that. And so thank you, Madam Chair of Budget and Finance.
I like to be sensible.
Well, you are very sensible, and I too, and I thank you for that.
All right. Items before us ready to vote, Ms. Clerk. This will be to approve the item.
That vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item should be item 33.
32, just mentioned
Okay, go ahead.
receiving the report.
All right.
Okay.
Item 33.
You want to skip 32?
Oh, go ahead. No, you
Okay.
just wanted to mention it.
32, receiving the certification from the city clerk relative to the results of the citizen participation plan special election for North Pratt neighborhood held February 10th, 2014, as submitted by a representative of the Community Resource Services Division of the Mayor's Office on February 20th, 2015. All right, 33.
You can do 33, 34, and 35.
Okay. $33, a resolution approving the following advance expense account. April Odom, Director, Office of the Mayor, Washington District of Columbia, $1,989.86. March the 8th through the 11th, 2015, National League of Cities. Item 34, a resolution approving the following advance expense account. Erskine Foss, Chief of Staff, Office of the Mayor, Washington District of Columbia, $1,629.06, March the 8th through the 10th, 2015, National League of Cities. Item 35, a resolution approving the following advance expense accounts. William Parker, Councilor, City Council, Atlanta, Georgia, $710.52, March the 10th through the 12th, 2015, Environmental Protection Agency meeting. And item 36, a resolution determining that the proposed zoning ordinance draft meeting.
No, it's just 33,
Just leave that one
34,
off?
and 35.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, do we have a mover in a second?
She gonna have to do it.
Second. All right. Parker Austin.
Parker Austin. All right, motion.
Mr. President, sir, are we voting all those at one time?
33, 34, and 35.
Okay, Mr. President, if possible, may we take item 33 separately than 34 and 35, please?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Item 33.
Okay, I'll have to.
Parker Austin.
Give me a second, I have to delete them, sir. All right, 132, motion Parker Austin.
33.
33.
Where's 32?
Parker Austin.
Yep.
All right, voting should be open. All right, that vote should be up. For
That item
33.
passes. Item 34.
All right. Same motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready to vote.
All right. Voting should be open.
Which one is it?
34.
Okay.
All right, that vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item, 35.
Motion Parker Austin. Okay, voting should be open. All right, that vote should be up.
That item passes. Item 36.
A resolution determining that the proposed zoning ordinance draft meeting serves a public purpose that promotes goodwill and serves a public interest in requesting that the city funds be administered to pay for this event in accordance with section 3-1-7 of the General Code of the City of Birmingham, and I'm thinking this should be by Councilor Roberson instead of Austin.
Yep. Need a mover in a second.
Move the item.
Roberson, Parker.
Speak to the motion, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I do want to make it known to the public that this item was approved and communicated from the City Council Administrator to the Law Department to make sure everything was in order as it relates to this public purpose. So that's it, Mr. President.
Okay. I have a question. When you say it was approved, you're saying that it was approved like it's justified?
Justified, quantified,
okay.
Qualified.
Gotcha. All right. We have items before us. We're ready to vote, Mr. Clerk.
All right. Voting should be open. 2, 4, 5. That vote should be up, Mr. President.
That item passes. Next item.
You still have 24 on the table.
Yep.
Need a motion to reconsider. Take it from the table.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I actually had some questions, Mr. President.
Go ahead, let's move to call back up item 24. Isn't that the item?
Take it from the table.
Take it from, yeah.
Okay.
Remove from the table, item 24. I move that we remove item 24 from the table.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All
Okay.
right, it's back before us, Council Scales.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I see where there is a line item for it. Before I get started, what is this line item? If someone can give me that intelligence, I'd appreciate it. There's a line item that says that this money is coming from somewhere that's already in the budget. What is that?
It's the DNC budget in the mayor's office.
Okay, but I'm
It's
saying.
not in the mayor's office, it's
I understand, but DNC, was that in our budget, like what we approved budget? Okay, so I understand within budget, but my question is twofold. One is, obviously, it has exceeded, based on the information that I'm getting or have gotten. It's like over $9,000 initially for these drapes. And then we're asking for $10 additional $1,000 for the same drapes, obviously. Where are the drapes? Where are the drapes located? What is this?
It's lighting.
Mr. Mayor, you have someone want to respond?
Well, I mean, I get that, Madam Chair. I mean, Ms. Abbott, you said, it says exterior architectural lighting for the DNC, basically. So I'm just saying, what is architectural lighting and where is that located? Where was that put?
I don't know.
No, that's why I'm not asking you the question. I'm posing that question to someone who can make me more intelligent. I'm saying if we're gonna spend over $19,000 on architectural lighting for the DNC, then my question is, what is that and where was it located before I vote on it?
Do we have?
Would you like to delay the item, Mr. President? If we don't want to have further discussion, I just.
Okay, just make the motion to delay it.
Okay, then I'd like to make will we say 2 weeks? A 2-week delay, and so we can get some information, and more specifically, where's the lighting located? What is this item actually all about? So, Mr. President, I so move on that 2-week delay, please.
Second.
All right. We're voting on a 2-week delay.
Pro Tem Ropes. Thank you, sir. That vote should be up.
All right, that item passes. It's been delayed 2 weeks. Next item.
You got speakers, old and new business.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion for the speakers.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, first speaker,
Robert
Mr. Walker. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. We got it.
Good morning, Council, Mayor.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Robert Walker. My address is 312 6th Day Place North. I'm Vice President of the Wyoming Neighborhood Association, I think, and but definitely a concerned citizen. My concern today is the A.G. Gaston Motel and the new talks about what we're going to do with that particular property. I have concern, and many of my neighbors, friends, and family have concerns about that property because from what I can see is that there's a plan to knock down part of the A.G. Gaston Motel to extend a new construction. And what I like to ask of this mayor and this city council is to be supportive with the community as far as we don't want any bricks taken off the A.G. Gaston Motel. As it stands is the way we like to see it renovated. We understand that there's a lot of good things coming into that structure, and the community would like to be a part of that as well. We like to see Bonita Carter having a better existence inside the Civil Rights Museum, and that could be a part of it also. But I'd like to remind council that whenever we talk about restoring buildings, we have to look toward the Alabama Theater. We don't have to tear any part of that down, or the lyrics, or the Sloss Furnace, or any other, the Arlington House over there. None of these things will had to be torn down in order to restore them. And A.G. Gaston Motel been a part of my life, part of a lot of y'all lives, and should be a part of the future's lives. So if you would, I would like to ask the mayor that if that is a part of his plan is to tear down one brick of the A.G. Gaston Motel as it stands, to reconsider. And I also like to ask this council that if those plans are in your midst to vote on, I ask you not to vote one dime toward tearing down any part of A.G. Gaston Motel. And I thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Frank Matthews.
Mr. Matthews.
Good morning, great council, Mayor Frank Matthews. Morning. Where do I live? I forgot. I live so much in the city. 2272 Ledgewood Lane. Council, I'm here today in this campaign that we have launched because our great president is coming to Selma, Alabama, and to Montgomery, Alabama. So we endeavor to try to get the attention of our great friend, former Mayor Larry Langford, before this president. Now, I know some of y'all can shake it loose like a bucket of juice and be very close to the president. I'm gonna be counted with the 5 loaves in the baskets, about 5,000 people. So I won't be close like Joe to Baltimore, like you guys will. Somebody in here probably will be close to the president. Mr. Mayor might be close to the president, and I got a bucket wish list. Mr. Mayor, if you could, make me mayor for a day, Saturday, so I can get close to the president and tell him to free Larry. That's my bucket list request from the mayor. I think that would be good. He could grant me that to be mayor for a day. But seriously, citizens of Birmingham, we have T-shirts that says, like our bumper stickers, we have plenty of those, and we have helium balloons because there's going to be 100,000 people down there. And we got helium balloons that we're going to blow to say, Mr. President, please free our precious Mayor Langford. And they were so high above, individuals that have a T-shirt will have a helium balloon that was so high above the crowd. Because we're going to do anything and everything we can by faith. It's time for former Mayor Larry Langford to come out of that prison house. And it's high time for some of the elected officials in this city that have benefited from the endeavors of Mayor Larry Langford to write some letters. I've checked the petitions, and I'm amazed at the names that I haven't seen. Because I know everyone basically who made campaign promises and made good in deference to this man, but now you shut up, you won't get up, won't say anything positive. So we asking you, this city council, and we asking you, the citizens that's watching this, that claim you love Larry so much, how about show us? Show us by showing up. Show us by calling 276-2610 and saying, Mr. Matthews, I want a T-shirt because I'm going there to be in the crowd. Because we don't know, the little girl might see the T-shirt and say, what's all that red about? So I'm asking any of you elected officials that's going to get close to the president, how about calling me and let me give you, Mr. President, free Larry Langford T-shirt. If you wish, could you wear it proud? I mean, the president forgives people. He forgave Ted Stevenson, this corrupt politician from Arkansas. Time he came in, the first somebody he let out of prison was Ted Stevenson, a corrupt Republican. And we've been waiting on our president to free Larry. He was supposed to have an operation last Tuesday. He didn't have it. You saw Don Siegel, how frail he was. Guess what? Quantify that 4 times time, and that's Larry. Now, some of y'all claim you love Larry. Some of y'all sitting here on these boards and stuff. He appointed you. That's right. Got plenty of money. Ain't said nothing, ain't did nothing, ain't stood up to nothing we had for Larry. Right. Damn it, stand up.
Next speaker.
Dr. Brenda Dickerson.
Dr. Dickerson.
We should not allow curse words.
State your name and address for the record.
My name is Dr. Brenda Dickerson. I live at 1215 31st Street South. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I am the president of the Citizens Coalition for a Better Birmingham. I am here once again. I began this journey a year ago when this body was close to awarding a no-bid contract of $139 million to Mr. Franklin Haney to lease 2 floors of the old Social Security building for the police and fire administrative offices. The audacity. 5 proposals were submitted after you, Mr. Mayor, met with the Citizens Coalition for a Better Birmingham on April 14, 2014. One of the 5 proposals is from Mr. Haney. It is our understanding that Mr. Haney wants to sell space in the Social Security building for $50 million. We remain opposed because of the money he gave to certain counselors while the counselors were considering his initial no-bid contract. Further, we have concerns about one of the other proposals that has been submitted. According to a February 22nd article in the Birmingham News, the selection committee has identified 2 finalists. We will not raise our concerns until the announcement is made. During an August 28th council meeting, President Austin stated that the council has a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. Does the fiduciary responsibility include informing the taxpayers the names of the individuals who are serving on the selection committee for the new public safety building? Does the fiduciary responsibility include informing the taxpayers of the experience of those chosen to serve on the selection committee? Does the fiduciary responsibility include sharing with taxpayers information on gifts and contributions provided by those seeking the contract to build the new safety building? This all comes down to the issue of transparency and full disclosure. The coalition from the very beginning has asked for transparency, accountability, and full disclosure. We continue to ask for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker should be Pamela Robinson.
Mr. Robinson. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Pamela M. Robinson, 437 Westchester Drive, Birmingham. Mayor, city councilors, and city officials. I have a question for you. What part of being transparent, free from pretense or deceit, accountable, subject to giving an account of your action, excuse me, actions that you don't understand? You say that you are traveling from state to state, from country to country, for the good of the people, the taxpayers. Domestic and international travel spending are being considered a larger strategy to promote Birmingham and enhance its image in order to bring economic development and to build relationships with potential future investors. As shareholders, we, the taxpayers, demand accountability, transparency, full disclosure, and public hearings when our dollars are being spent.
Thank you. Next speaker.
James King.
Mr. King, please, members of the audience, hold your applause. Mr. King. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. I know, just remind you.
It takes me a little while to get up here. How y'all doing today? My name is James King, 3554 Church Street, Dolomite. First of all, y'all need to fix that sign up there. That's so tacky. The people are the what? City. I mean, you put the television screen up there. Y'all clean that up. That looks extremely tacky, you know. And thank you, Mr. Austin. I appreciate you. You're a whole lot better than that last council president we had, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, y'all talking about the A.G. Gaston Hotel. I came down here a few years back, and I requested that we moved the name Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from out by Elmwood Cemetery. Dr. King came to Birmingham. I ain't never seen no pictures of him marching down by Elmwood Cemetery. All the films are seen. If you're gonna build a civil rights institute and hotel, least you could do is remove that name over there with the bombed out, wrecked out neighborhood, Montevallo Gardens and all the potholes. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. No other city that we see, that we travel all over the nation, do we see Dr. King's name disrespected as you, this city council, has done. The SCLC, group that Martin Luther King founded, its leader hadn't said a word. Matter of fact, we don't even have a SCLC. They're just as dormant as a dog over there full of fleas. But we have got to move to a position where we care about our community, because it shows the degree that this is predominantly black city council now. When y'all moved that name out there, it was predominantly white. And they did it as a mode to insult the community. But you, the people, are here to correct that injustice. I guarantee you, I don't have any money, $30,000, but I'm willing to put up $1 if y'all would move forward. But it's just like I'm talking to that hardwood floor over there. It ain't going nowhere. I don't have the money. We, the city of Birmingham, have a poverty rate of 34%. And I'm one of those people. I just don't have it to give y'all $30,000. Otherwise, Mr. Mayor, would you make that move? Ms. Scales, would you make that move? I need some leadership in this community to do what is necessary, rather than some people who are sitting on their knobs and not doing anything. Show us some leadership, because it's surely lacking in this city. You do everything for everybody but us, the people. If my house is raggedy, y'all gonna come and tear down. But if the big corporations like U.S. Steel maintain a rat hole over there on that bridge, y'all won't do nothing. They're the big dog. I'm the little dog. Woof!
Next speaker, Vicky Talbot. Ms. Talbot. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. You speak and you can lower the microphone.
Felicia Ford. I've stayed in housing, Gate City housing, and my daughter got killed, and I come today for some justice to be served. I had a candlelight last night. No one attended but Miss Tyson. And I came today for some justice to be served. Something need to be did about it. Haven't caught the killer. Been called detectives over and over. I haven't heard from him. No answer from him. It's just ridiculous.
Mr. President.
My daughter lost her life on the 26th.
President Austin.
My name is Vicky Towell, and I'm a mother-in-law. She's my daughter-in-law. I'm truly tired. I'm truly tired of we losing our children of the city of Birmingham. When I got this call, when my daughter-in-law was up there fighting for her life, ain't nobody came to her rescue. but me. Her mama didn't even know what's going on. I had to come to rescue this family. When I found out where the Gate City area was, I called for Ulster. And they told me Ulster wasn't that distant, not up there. I went somewhere else and found out who the district was. They kept on telling me, Miss Vicky, it's Ulster, it's the up there in that district. I'm tired of my black women dying on some necessary in Birmingham houses, and they ain't doing nothing. Where they come from, the Empson, you know, that's my daughter-in-law, and I'm tired. It ain't nothing what we need to do. Y'all need to get up, start coming to y'all neighborhood and see what's going on. Don't wait till the ham in the daytime, it's ham at night too. And I'm proud of you, Ulster. You didn't even come to the visit light last night. I tried to get everybody to come out last night. Only somebody that came out of my district over there is Sheila Tyson. And I'm having one tonight at Evelyn Village for my daughter-in-law, and I'm tired.
My name is Tori Johnson. Listen, I'm not going to come to judge now one y'all on that panel. I understand y'all have a job to do too. My name is Tori Johnson. I'm from Gate City. I grew up in Gate City. I'm not here to judge nobody on that panel because I understand y'all have a job too. But it's certain part that y'all should proceed. An innocent little girl got killed doing hell with her peers by somebody out there rapping and shooting. No, in y'all mind might be considered an accident. But it ain't no accident when you out there playing with guns. Cause I done played one too, cause I EOS a 20-year sentence like I ain't changed my life. I was 19 and 40 when I got out. Now, Ms. Austin, I don't know much about you, but now I'm familiar with Mr. Bell. And I'd like to thank Ms. Tyson for coming out though. And the rest of y'all, you know, I don't know y'all don't know me. But reason I'm addressing this to you. Also, Ms. William Bell, listen, I done been out there. Now, you know, Gate City, people label Gate City as being a hard place to live. But really, the streets itself is a hard place to live. It don't matter where you come from. Look at the little 14-year-old girl got killed. Now, you could have came to my daughter kind of like vision, like, you ain't doing nothing to show your face. You getting paid for that district. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to scold you, man, because, you know, screw my friends, you don't care, I don't care. No, you don't never care until it happens to y'all. You feel? But each one of y'all that's black, not no racist statement, each one of y'all that's black, y'all got people in the practice and in the street, on dope and in prison. You feel? And I know this for a fact. All I'm asking you to reach out in your heart. See, I done called them detectives 4 or 5 times. I just got through calling them while I was sitting out there. Okay, they apprehend some suspects, but at the same time, they call them with the guns, everything. But nobody ain't been charged. I don't care who been, my thing right now, I don't care who been, I don't care about the person they trying to kill. I want the person who was apprehended in the house that day, who got caught with them pistols when I saw him bring them up out of. I want the jury to decide their fate. Because under the law, and y'all the ones who created the law, under circumstance, evidence beyond reasonable doubt, it don't gotta be planned, plotted. It could be at the spur of the moment, you just guilty of the rest of them, if you adult. So that's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go and talk to some detectives and make them do what they supposed to do. Because honestly, it take everything in my heart to change me. Because I be out there every day. And yeah, I can go out there and get street justice, but for what? They'll be corrupting my life. And another black man gone. I need to be here for her. So I'm asking y'all, Mr. Austin, I don't know you, man. But I try not to have no personal vendetta against you because it's not your problem for real. All you and Mr. Bell problem. I'm asking y'all to make it y'all problem. And that's all I got to say.
Councilor Tyson.
Yes, we, Ms. Ford and Mr. Ford, y'all know how I feel about Brittany. And this is a picture of her with her sorority sisters having a good time. And it's something, I know it's something has to be done about the housing authority. And I think it's going to have to go to the federal level up with our Congressperson Terry Sewell. Some rules need to be changed, and some ordinances need to be changed, and some laws need to be changed in order to make it to where you can live a quality life in public housing. And it's some limitations should be put in place, because you have people that's been living 30 and 40 years in public housing, and that's not what it was there. It wasn't made and put in place for that. It was supposed to be a temporary housing for you to get on your feet in advance. So we got to have some type of limitations to where, when do your children graduate out of public housing? It's not there for generations to come in. You in there, then your children in there, your grandchildren. It's not for that. So when are we going to have something in place that will actually take care of that? Because it just doesn't make any sense. Time and time again, this girl, she was in her house. It'll be, you know, I'm talking about one out trying to do no Facebook video. She was where she's supposed to have been safe at. And a bullet will go through sheetrock and hit her. But look at, it's more incidents happening like this, where children are being, and when I was out there, a little boy was hit. We still have not found these people that are causing these problems. And I can guarantee you it's one of the young guys out there that stay with their parents. You know, it should be a limitation on how long your children be able to stay with you, should be able to stay with you in public housing. It's got to, public housing has to change, even if it take doing away with it. Because when I was on my way out there, and I had called Ms. Ford, when I got out there, I was told by a reporter, what are you doing out here with these animals? And I'm telling you, it really bothered me to where I could not really say what I wanted to say, because I was scared it was going to be a fight if I had to really just, you know, said something. And I didn't want to be out there, and it was dark. You know, to tell me, why are you out here with these animals? You need to try to protect yourself. And I was like, what? What did you say? You don't need to be out here, because let them kill themselves. You know, who would make a statement like that? And it really, really bothered me, and it's just sad.
Councilor Scales.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm gonna try to say it, I really have a mouthful about this subject, because I know a lot of times when people see us on the dais, you think we can't relate. Now, I don't know about your vigil, but let me just share this with you. My oldest sister, 7 years ago, be 8 years come August, I had a niece that was killed in Chicago, shot in the head with 2 children, nobody talked. It's some things I'm gonna say to you off of this dais, because there are some illnesses within our community. That's why folk don't care. You don't care, they don't care. You don't talk, who's there to listen? You can't legislate a mindset, because the truth of the matter is, my sister went through the same thing. And let me just correct some things too, because a part of I believe one of my assignments as a council member is to empower everyday people to know how this system works. The truth of the matter is, I understand you want your counselor there. I get that. But the counselor can't tell not one police officer what to do. If the detective is not calling you back, that's under the mayor's office. That's not to put the mayor on the spot. That's so that you can learn how to talk to the appropriate person. The chief of police work at the pleasure of the mayor. You understand what I mean? And what I'm saying as a community, we got to stop alley fighting and start being a Mike Tyson in our own neighborhood. We got to learn how to strategically fight so that we know what we're doing. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about physically fighting. I'm talking about knowing how to get laws passed, knowing how to talk to the right people to get the desired results. Do you understand what I mean? Because, see, the reason why I didn't give credence to that, because you're talking about a serious matter. You know what I told some of my students just yesterday in an assembly? People will never know you're ignorant until you open your mouth or act out. This is a serious matter. And I'm going to be very candid with you. Had a relative who lived in Gate City. Nobody has to tell me about Gate City. I know fully about Gate City. But I can tell you this much. Things are not going to change until we learn how to respect each other. And somebody over there knew what happened. Yeah, she was in her own place. But I can tell you as a council member, I can't speak for your council representative, but I will say this, on some level in his defense, when they had the explosion over there, I actually came. The committee even wrote a letter, and certain folk kept us out. It wasn't that we didn't want to help you, but because it's not a city-owned property, it's the federal government. But I can tell you this, don't ever forget this. We make it nice, we call it the housing project. Don't ever forget it's a project. What is a project? An experiment. To see how you can live in poverty and then cohabitate. And normally it's not good. We'll talk more about it off the dais, but I want you to know from me to you, I feel you. My sister was there just where you are. And I'm telling you, people around you, not us, the people around you, they know exactly what happened and they don't want to open their mouth. That's the real crime, all right? But I feel for you, I really do. And I hope that justice comes in the right way. Get the folk who did it, but we got to start getting out here educating some folks so that they can change their behavior. Your mindset is what is required to change the behavior. You change the mindset of one, you change the household. You change the household, you're going to change the community. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Don't let your baby's case go cold. Okay, you got it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you so much.
Mr. Pro Tem.
You're welcome.
President, let me, the Pro Tem, you want to yield to the mayor?
I'll yield to the mayor.
You know, oftentimes people, you know, lay stuff at the doorstep of the mayor's office, and when I ran for this office, I agreed to accept that. I probably have been to Gate City and Loveland Village more than any other public housing that I've ever been to. When the young lady was killed some time ago, and I wish Frank was still in here, because oftentimes if I say something, people don't take my word, but Frank will tell you. The only elected official that was there was William Bell. When the explosion took place out there, I've forgotten what time in the morning it was, but about 15 minutes after it took place, William Bell was there. Didn't leave until the next afternoon late. Made sure that all the people went over there to the center to be directed where they could get additional housing. I later on met with the Allegasco. They talked about making repairs out there, and we said, no, you've got to replace all the lines out there. We got to the bottom of who installed the, I think water was cut off to the rest of the area. And it was a problem with the PVC lines that had been placed out there, a number of different issues. But my office looked into all of that. Each time a person is killed, I can show you every person that's killed in the city of Birmingham. I get a call whether it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I respond to it. Because I never want the chief and his department to know that the mayor does not care who dies in this city. And I expect them to get results and bring people to justice. Now, if they're not responding to the needs of the citizen, then let me know, and we'll have something done. But don't sit back and think that I don't know what's going on, and I'm not doing anything about it, okay?
Thank you. Mr. Roberson.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Ford, Ms. Ford, and I kind of want to let you know that conscious of this council are aware of the circumstances that are going on. I'm praying for you and your family under these circumstances. The mayor has to be sensitive about the investigation process and how this goes on because of the what's going on with the process. He's aware of it. I've talked with my captain on the Western Precinct. I've even talked to the chief of police personally. We have a problem with an influx of guns in the community. Guns are getting in our community to the young folks left and right. There's one situation right now I'm aware of, and I'm gonna make it public, of a 16-year-old in my district that's locked up right now. Had his picture with a pistol and a machine gun on Facebook. The captain himself, Captain Blanton, went to the house, knocked on the door. He lived with his grandmother. Grandmother didn't know of any guns being in the house. They searched the house, asked for a warrant. The machine gun was in his bedroom. These kids are getting their hands on guns, they're stealing, and it's a problem. I rest assure you, I can't change the situation that you're dealing with right now. But within our neighborhoods and our communities, it's a problem. We got to start snitching. We got to start being police within our own community. And I'm not pointing at you, Ms. Ford, but our parents in this community are not being parents. We have got to be parents. I monitor everything my teenagers do in my household. To your point, Counselor, it needs to be a law. It needs to be an ordinance from a federal level coming down to the local level. For these parents that don't supervise their children like they need to go to jail. And we got a problem, y'all. The mayor's aware of this. And Mayor, I talk to Chief Roper every now and then. But he's aware of this. And we all are. And for my president, he didn't show, I didn't know about the visual. I'm very involved with nonviolence amongst youth in our city.
It was announced on the news.
But I mean, you got to realize too, we do a lot of different things, but we are constantly aware. And I think we need to, from our leadership capacity, look at these concerns closer. And with the leadership of our mayor, with the leadership of our chief of police, I think Cedric Sparks with the Division of Youth Services, my council member, my colleagues, those citizens in the community, Pastor said, you've been an advocate. Bishop, we need to sit down now with our clergy and start addressing this matter. But there is a problem with influx of guns, and I'll be honest with heroin in our communities right now, and it's a problem. So to that point, it's hot over in Gate City. It's been hot in Gate City for a long time. And this ain't the first incident over there. And there are some other areas that need to be addressed. I do know, and I am 100% sure that our police department are doing what they can to get to the bottom of this case. And the streets are what the streets are. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me say this. You know, as my grandmother would say, my cup runneth over with this. You know, the violence in our community is out of control. I know that the mayor and the police are working diligently to help curtail it. But it doesn't matter how many police we put on the streets, how many police we put in our neighborhoods and our communities. It's not going to change the mindset. And just what my colleagues have all said in their own way, including the mayor, that it's a community, and it's going to take all of us. My heart goes out to you all. I've lost family members due to violence too. And I know, you know, no parent should outlive their children. You know, you raise them because you want them to grow up and be successful and stand on your shoulders. And so there's nothing that I can say that will comfort you during this time. You know, the housing communities that we have in Birmingham and throughout this nation folks that live in the housing communities are under attack. It's been going on for decades, and there's not much that that the city can do. You know, Councilor Tyson made a very good point when she talked about they may need to just be torn down. It's killing our young people. It's grounds for breeding violence, disrespect for the law. The young man taking pictures with guns it's ridiculous. And so, no, I didn't know about the vigil. Councilor Tyson called me after she left, told me right as she was, I guess, getting in her car, and told me about it. And I told her then, I was like, I didn't know anything about that. But I can assure you that as your representative, anything and everything that I can do to help, I am committed to doing that. And I also continue to talk with the mayor, with the police chief, and members of the police department, just about ways that we can address this issue. Drugs, crime, domestic violence. I'm sure you all may have heard about the 100 Days of Nonviolence that the Pro Tem has continued to champion. The domestic violence that was just the domestic violence campaign that Councilor Lundy has been talking about. We're doing everything that we can from the council to educate our community and educate our citizens. Councilor Scales was absolutely correct when she talked about the fact that you need to know how to fight and be educated in that process. But we can't do it alone. And one of our biggest problems, as we see with many crimes that happen in our community, nobody wants to talk. No one wants to tell for whatever fear of retaliation or just the fact that you're going to be labeled as a snitch. But we have to. And we have to continue to teach our children that when we see something, when they see something, say something. When they see something, say something. I'll continue to keep you lifted up in my prayers. I'll have someone get with you. And I know Ms. Talbert called my office the other day about some other issues related to this, and we're working on that. So I just want you to know that we are doing everything that we can to really address this, but we need help, and we really need the community to stand up and stop being silent. Councilor Scales?
Mr. President, and I'm glad, yes, sir, and I'm glad that you back me on it, because I want to give you some clarity. And the reason why I want to do that is because we can't say enough to massage your heart, because I can feel, this your brother?
A friend.
Your friend? Because I can tell he's listening, but he's really frustrated, and I won't even say what I think he's frustrated by, but that's why I'm talking about knowing how to make the system work for you, because it's not to put the mayor on the spot. I said that before, but the way this thing work, and I'm saying it publicly so that other folk can hear, this is how you win for your neighborhood. Everybody has a role to play. The neighborhood has a role to play. Well, what's your role? We got to start talking, and we got to start demanding more. My mother was on Section 8. Just because of the fact you in poverty, geographically don't define where you are mentally in terms of the ghetto. I came out of the ghetto. So it's all about what you think about yourself. It shouldn't be acceptable in our neighborhood that we know certain folk doing certain things, and it's all right. Why? Because we in Gate City. No, that's not okay. Because you go right over across the track in High Chaparral, it's like night and day. And it's been night and day for a long time. You know why? Because the mindset of what you will and won't tolerate is two totally different. And guess what? You're only separated by a railroad track. Am I making sense? So here's what I'm telling you to do. Because I was sharing with the president, we actually passed just this morning about a state legislative agenda that this council as a body has put forward. One of the things that I asked to be placed on there has to deal with delinquency of a minor. What does that mean, Councilor Scale? This is the role we can play for you. Start holding these parents accountable by the law. See, when we were in school, you had an unwritten law.
Yep.
It was called corporal punishment. The nice way was you got that belt at school. You got that switch at school. So now what we want to try to do as a body to say, hey, mom or dad, when you got to start taking off from work and you losing money, so-and-so going to stop cutting up down there. That's the way we say it ebonically. You're going to stop acting out. That's the role that we play. That's the part of the legislative agenda that's already on there to address delinquency amongst minors. The other part is when you talk about the chief of police, the mayor is supposed to be abreast by the chief of police because he works at the pleasure of the people by way of the mayor. So the council don't know, so I want y'all want to fight us. You ain't got to try to fight the mayor, but just know if the detective is not calling you back, you need to be calling to the chief's office. Then the mayor's already made himself available. He said you don't get no results. That means come back down here, some form of fashion, and talk back to the mayor. Am I making sense? Because we control the law, the mayor actually administrates or execute the law. You not getting a response, don't settle for that. You go down there and you ask to speak to the chief of police. Am I making sense? Because at the end of the day, if we don't hold everybody accountable that is involved, it'll never change. You'll be another mother that's crying over your baby because guess what? No sooner they get out the news cycle, nobody thinks about it. I promise you that. Nobody will think about it but you and your family. That's the unfortunate reality. So that's why I'm saying, and I'm closing, Mr. President, learn how to fight. And do it the way you see other folk doing, and it's called creating laws. So it's a permanent change in your daughter's honor. That's why I said don't let this case grow cold. Don't let nobody misinform you. Hold everybody accountable. Hold your community accountable if they know they need to talk. Because, see, when we show up, we can't bring her back. All we can do is just what we said. We're praying for you. But outside of praying for you, I want you to know that faith without works is dead. Get to working. Don't let her die. Am I making sense? And in closing, Mr. President, I tell every family this. We're here for a season. You put in a period where God places a comma. You understand that? So she's not gone. You just physically don't see it. That's the comma. C-O-M-M-A, not karma, but comma. And if you do it like that, then you're going to keep working. And you're going to keep on to that detective, call you back. He don't call you back or she don't call, no problem, we're gonna get another one. But we're gonna get an answer. And then we're gonna work that neighborhood because everybody know what happened. Does that make sense? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Before I call on Councilor Tyson, just one other unwritten rule, Councilor Scales, that I thought you were gonna mention was when the street lights are on, your butt needs to be at home.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Councilor Tyson.
Yes, I did want to mention that we have a reward for $1,000, and if anyone else wanted to contribute to that pot of money to find out exactly who killed Brittany Ford. And once again, I tell you, you're in my hearts. And we did get her moved. She could not go back to that apartment where her daughter was killed at, so we did move her, and I preferred her to move over on my side of town where I can help her at. And she's moved over in District 6. Okay. So I'm gonna do everything I can to help you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you. I will continue to pray for you. Mr. Clerk.
Eloise Valencia.
And I'm having the kind of like tonight down in Gilbert Village.
At what time?
At 6 o'clock, I'll be out there.
At Gilbert Village. Okay.
Eloise.
Vellucci.
Vellucci. Is Mrs. Vellucci? State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you? I'm Eloise Vellucci. I live at 1318 32nd Street South. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Citizens Coalition for a Better Birmingham. Respect. Why is it that once elected, the mayor and the council seem to have no respect for its constituents?
Hold on 1 second.
Councilor Scales.
Proceed. Go ahead.
Why is it that the neighborhoods no longer receive copies of the budget for each fiscal year? Why is it that the meetings with the mayor from the neighborhood organizations are few and far between, unlike it was in the past? The citizens can only conclude that they don't want, that the mayor and the council don't want citizens to participate in governance. Why is there no line item or particular funds set out for travel? If there is one, why don't we know about it? Do we not have a right to know? Going to the League of Cities meeting is understandable since it's an organization which represents cities and is an entity which promotes the city's point of view. But when you go, and most people have no objection to counselors going to a seminar of some sort, why don't you come back and tell the citizens what you learned? It causes a lot less resentment. $31,000 in travel in 1 month seems extravagant. But if you are transparent as to why you go and what you learn, then the resentment goes also. The citizens of Birmingham want transparency. They want respect. I must tell you that the numbers of our organization are growing exponentially. 1 or 2 people we have spoken to when we hand out our monthly newsletter are in support of the mayor and council. Hundreds of others have a negative impression, all because they feel that the city and the council give them no respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. No, you all please hold your applause. And I will say, as Ms. Bryan is coming, Ms. Bryan, there is a travel line item that the council approves every year, as well as every check and the budget itself are posted on the city's website. So if there's, and also as it relates to the travel, several council members continue to provide reports and summaries of their travel. Please silence your cell phones. But several council members provide information on the travel, and all of that as well is available on the website. Go ahead. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Annie L. Bryant, and my address is 2509 15th Street, Inslee. And I was down here about, I think I was down here last week, but I didn't know that I had to sign up, and I was a little bit late getting here. And we're having a problem. Councilman Holt is over in our district. But anyway, it's really a big problem over in Inslee on that side. I think I complained, was talking to him about it. And it's not getting any better, it's getting worse and worse. And it seems like, it's just my husband and myself. And you see, when they see that you're elder people, you don't have any children, they prey on you, And it just seemed like for 2 years, ever since 2012, I have called the police department. I have called the narcotics squad. I'm afraid to say it, because God is my keeper. And I even called it Crime Stopper. And this one sent me to go to the West Precinct. The West Precinct sent me to North Birmingham. And from North Birmingham, I was talking to a lawyer. He sent me to the sheriff department. And then they sent me down here on 17th Street. But, and nobody could help me. It's not the matter that I want a police to come sit in front of my door 24/7. Just, check the neighborhood out, You see them riding up and down the street sometimes. They're going just as fast as the other people. They're driving up and down the street. If they police doing 60, they doing 60 to 80, And they seem like at night you can't sleep. I ask God not to let me sleep too sound. But it just seems like it's about to get next to me. I don't know anybody over there. And I worked hard all my life, When you get up at 4 and 5 o'clock and go to work at Piggly Wiggly in Homewood, then you had another job for about 17 years. It's not easy. You got to work hard all your life and got to worry about somebody want to come in and take what you got. When you get old, I'm not, I had said I was going to stand my ground, and I'm not going to let anybody come in and put me out of that house. But still, you know, harassing you. When I go to the store, I got a line of people. When I go to the doctor, it's a line of people. When my husband we go to our foundation, it's a line of people. It seems like to me it's just been a pick. I got a burglar alarm. They messed my burglar alarm up. People don't realize that they can't get your burglar alarm. If you got a ground phone, they can get that alarm system. Because it was ringing through my burglar alarm, and I knew they had that. They got the telephone line. They got the cable line. If I call the light people, whoever I called, they won't. Somebody always, they got my telephone line. They call back to AT&T and tell them it's not a problem in your line. They've been straightened out. This hadn't been straightened out. And when I called my family in Florida, you know, all my people live out of town just about. My sister told me she called me for 2 Saturdays in a row. And whoever had my phone number told her I didn't exist. We don't even exist. So you don't know what people are going to do to you. Just like I said, I'm not afraid because I'm going to stand up for Louise. And God knows I'm not afraid. I believe I do have the Lord on my side, you know. And it seemed like to me just so much I called the police department. They said they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't send a detective out there. Okay, you want me to cut it off?
Time is up.
Okay. And I just want to know if somebody that I can talk to that's willing to help. You understand? Because I'm not going to give up like that.
Thank you. Next speaker.
David Russell.
Mr. Russell.
First of all, let me say good evening to everyone. It's an honor to have the opportunity to come here.
Your name and address.
Come here today. Again, my name is David Russell, and I live at 1625 Brookfield Lane. Whether you know it or not, I'm somewhat disappointed and upset more than I am mad. I came to Birmingham in 1990. Ever since I've been on the ground of Birmingham, I've been trying to better the livelihood of the citizens of Birmingham. When I came to Birmingham, I registered over 60,000 registered voters. I'm sure that some of these voters that voted for you all. Now, what I'm upset about is that this last Waterworks Board appointment, you know, there's a procedure, the policy is a procedure that one should go through. Now, I think I have placed my name on that position for about 4 times. And to me, it seems like they don't want me on no kind of board at all here. And I have really paid my dues in this city. Let me just share a little bit about my life. You know, back in '86, I did my first march from Selma to Montgomery. Since then, I've did 4 marches from Selma to Montgomery. I'm on the committee in Selma. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to be in Selma right now. And just for that alone, of course, you might know that Rosa Parks was my godmother. Daddy May Carr was my church member. All these folks were my friends. I made a lot of contribution to this city and this state. I work on the redistricting of the reapportionment of drawing the line back in the '80s. I was involved with the deal between Guy Hunt, that deal why Guy Hunt got elected. So, you know, I've been around a long time, and I have a lot of experience. But somehow, some way, that this city won't allow me to have an opportunity to explore my knowledge that I do have. I've served on boards before. You know, I used to be a member of the Senate. I was a senator's spouse. I served on the lieutenant governor board on the national level. I was a legislator's spouse. I was in Montgomery. I served on the city participation group. At Alabama State, I served on the grievance committee. Only thing I'm asking you all to really consider redoing the Waterworks appointment all over again. Because how it was done, it was hijacked, it was done wrong. Please, please, I'm asking you now, please, take another serious look at that appointment, how it was handled. That's all I'm asking. Just take another look, interview the people you need to know. Thank you very much, and it's always good to be here. I'm headed to Selma, y'all. I'll be in Montgomery tonight at the governor's state address. I'll be down there, and I'll be down there tomorrow. We're having a protest tomorrow about this charter school at 10 o'clock at the state capitol. Got a few things I do in Montgomery today. So, again, let's redo that waterwork appointment. And let me say this, too. Now, I must admit, I called the council, your president. I called him one for the appointment done. He promised me now that he was going to do something. He did something, too. And I called him again. He returned my phone call. I knew he figured I was kind of upset because he knew my name was there. But, again, look at that again and redo it over again. Interview everybody. You don't have to be mean. Just go through the proper process. Okay? Thank you, y'all. See y'all in Selma. See y'all in Selma. See y'all in Selma. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Willie Casey.
Good morning. My name is Willie A. Casey. I reside at 941 5th Street West in Cottage Hill. And just my history is I do real estate, among other things. I'm the 4th senior deacon at 16th Street Baptist Church, the first colored church that converted to Baptist. And as a color, I'm colored. I want to divorce myself from Negroes and mulattoes. We weren't on the plantation, I'm colored. There's racial people, all colored folks. Here on 4th Avenue, you see on sides of colored folks. Chief Tuscaloosa was colored. My folks came here and selling a place called Ellen City. Colored folks, you know. So we black Indian, woo, 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 all the way. I understand real estate. What I'm saying to you is here is that, and I came last week, but I didn't talk to the mayor's 2 assistants, but they scheduled appointment on the day it snowed, so I didn't get a chance there. But I want to talk to the mayor about this plan here. This is a good plan, Mayor. This is an excellent plan. Only thing about this plan, I met Mr. Farmer, Marshall Farmer. We talked about 30 minutes or so. It was a gracious time, and I explained to him that this plan reminded me of a plan of another gentleman who came through Birmingham, Mike Dobbins. Mike Dobbins has some plans. This guy Farmer, about his intelligence, he's about equal to Mike Dobbins maybe, but the difference between him and Mike Dobbins is Mike Dobbins would be on all the street corners, all the churches, all the neighborhoods, and everybody knew what the plan was. A plan is no good if people don't know the plan. We have been, when I'm saying to my colored folk, we have been conditioned over the years to listen to 2 people, one person really, that's the preacher man. When the preacher says it from the pulpit, the congregation believes it, and they will trust it. That's the way we communicate in the black community. There's another set of people in the community called realtors. I've been a realtor since 1980, came as a broker. My dad is in real estate. I understand real estate. At one time, somebody told me that I probably influenced over 75% of black realtors in Birmingham. What I'm saying to you, council, and I'm asking the mayor, to please delay this plan if we approve it tomorrow. People don't know about it. I'm not afraid that only a few people are going to know about this plan here. This plan, I think some of the council knows about it. It's called the Western Area Community Framework Plan. Okay. It needs to be delayed because what I'm saying here is that what's going to happen is, if it reminds me of Atlanta a little bit, it's the same plan with Atlanta, called regentrification, how it's the big word they use. But what happens is that in Birmingham, we can stand makeup of Birmingham. I read a survey somewhere about 4 or 5 years ago on December 25th. My brother's in the VA hospital. I'm a vet too. I'm a disabled vet. But anyway, what happened was this article said that it was 40-some% of the people in Birmingham, mid-40% of people in Birmingham, was born and raised in Birmingham. There was in Jefferson County, there was 70% of people in Jefferson County born and raised in Jefferson County. We're homegrown folks. I'm telling you right now, only about 20% of people know about this plan here. This plan is so dynamic. We need to make sure that the public know about this plan here. And if you don't let the preachers get to it, and I suggest the mayor call me with all the preachers, AME, CME, AME, the black rulers and white rulers, and have a meeting with them first, get them understand the plan. Then call a massive meeting.
Your time is up, Mr. Casey.
Okay, thank you. at Boutwell has 5,000 citizens that understand what the plan is.
Okay.
Because it affects everybody's life. And I don't
Thank
want to leave on being short in the stick when the money come down.
Thank you.
I thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And God heal my life. Appreciate
We're
it.
older, down to older new business. Councilor Tyson.
Thank you, President. We have West End Minor meeting, 6 o'clock at New Hope Baptist Church. That's March the 9th and March the 10th. Arlington West End Neighborhood Meeting, 6 p.m. at the West End Library. South Titusville meeting, March the 10th at 6 p.m. at the Titusville Library. Tonight at 6 p.m., that will be the final framework plan will be held at the New Pilgrim Baptist Church, my home church, located in the South Titusville neighborhood. This is our last chance to express the way we feel about this framework plan for the Titusville community. This has been needed for over 25 years. So please come out, New Pilgrim Baptist Church on 7th Street in Goldwire, 6 o'clock, for the final look at the framework plan where you can get your opinions out on this plan. PIC meeting will be on March the 11th in the conference room D&E. Submissions should be turned in by tomorrow, March the 4th, no later than 3 p.m. to Brandon. No exceptions will be given. There will be I would like to do 2 resolutions for condolences for the family of Jeanette Jones. Jeanette Jones is one of my best friend's sister, which lived with MS for 25 years. This young lady, MS attacked her at the age of 25. And I used to sit with her once a week. She would be well missed, just like a sister to me. And I'm gonna miss her, and I'm just really have been affected by death this year by close friends of mine. And also a resolution for Brittany Ford, the young lady that was killed in Gate City by a stray bullet while she was in her house. And I would like those 2 resolutions moved today.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Those items pass.
All right, that ends my announcements.
Thank you. Councilor Scales.
Mr. President, as always, I want to thank the citizens of District 1 as well as the city of Birmingham for affording me the opportunity to be their voice. I do want to remind everyone that we do have neighborhood meetings that are scheduled for this week. The first is at Winewood Baptist Church, which the president is Ken Johnson, Echo Highlands Neighborhood Association. They meet at 7 p.m. Also, for the Spring Lake Neighborhood Association, they meet at the Springville Road Library. That is under the leadership of George Lee. So I would encourage everyone that lives in those areas to make sure that you attend your neighborhood meetings. I also want to encourage all of you all in the sound of my voice. It's one thing to go to see the movie Selma. It's one thing to participate in the march. The president is going to be, as in President Obama, will be in Selma, Alabama. There's a series of events that are taking place this week. But the president will be in Selma, Alabama with his wife, with his children on this coming Saturday, March 7th. So if you're not necessarily interested in the politics of the day but want to be a part of that movement that took place and is still taking place, then I would encourage everyone to make your way on down to Selma, Alabama. They're doing a lot in the area to make it very welcoming for everyone. But the eyes will be on Selma. It was on Birmingham 2013, 2015 was celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. So I would encourage everyone to make your way in that regard. Also, I want to thank my students at Huffman High School. We've been having a number of series of different assemblies, and I will say to the mother not only that we saw and spoke with this morning for Gate City, but also the mother of the 14-year-old girl and that community. We're going to have some come to Jesus meetings. That's about the best way I can say that. Some real realities are going to have to be discussed. I tell my daughters all the time, reality TV is not reality, it's entertainment. but it's not entertaining when I knew of a young woman years ago that was actually killed in Washington Park, because I am from the west side of Birmingham. And here we got a young woman that, again, died senselessly, in my opinion. So I just want to share my condolences with that family and to encourage everyone to take your rightful place in your own neighborhood. Don't wait on the government. Don't wait on elected officials. Take charge of your own community, your own destiny in your community, and it will change. Lastly, I want to say I'm so excited in regard to our legislative agenda. I'm looking forward with the president, as he has said before, for us to have some successes in Montgomery. And I hope that those who have seen those changes that were made on last week will take those changes in the spirit in which it was done in, and will move favorably in regard to the Waterworks Board. That concludes my announcements, Mr. President. Again, I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of brief announcements. Mr. Jenkins has two, actually, for me to announce. One is the Reverend Connor's 30th, I think, anniversary is this Sunday at 3 o'clock at Oak Street Baptist Church. And the second one is the funeral for Miss Dorothy Means is this Saturday at 12 o'clock at Oak Street Baptist Church. And the final announcement is that the Park Board will be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Legion Field. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. President. The committee report for District 3, the next special, we will have a special called Budget and Finance Committee and special called Economic Development Committee meeting next Thursday, March 12th, due to the fact that on Monday at our normal meeting, we would not have a quorum. So your submissions are due on or before Wednesday, March 4th, which is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And I urge everyone who has issues that they want to bring before Budget and Finance and Economic Development to get their items in. And if you're planning on traveling, surely you know about it before the last day. Sometimes these things are just amazing. Last Friday, Gail Andrews at the Museum of Art gave a fantastic lecture on our local artist and sculptor, Frank Fleming. Fortunately, Mr. Fleming is still with us, and he actually has moved to District 3 from Homewood, so he's made an improvement in his location. But the lecture was absolutely fascinating, and the place was packed. In fact, I'm sure that we violated the fire codes by having so many people sitting in the aisles, but it's too late to do anything about that now. It was a great lecture. Yesterday, the Dr. Seuss birthday readings occurred all over the city, and that was really a lot of fun. You know, when you're not having such a good day, there's nothing like going to a classroom full of preschool children who are all bright-eyed and enthusiastic and smiling and happy. That will cheer you up. So that was fun. Tonight, there's the 50th anniversary celebration of the Selma to Montgomery March at BCRI. And tonight also, there is a Forest Park South Avondale Neighborhood Association meeting at 6:30 at the Avondale Library. So we encourage everyone to attend. Of course, Forest Park's meetings are extremely well attended. They usually have to get out extra chairs and try to find room for people. So that's the kind of neighborhood meeting you like to go to, where people are interested enough to get up, go to the meeting, turn off their TV sets, and participate. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I'm a happy daddy and a happy elected official. But first, I want to commend the Alabama High School Athletic Association and working with our administration at the Crossplex at Bill Harris Arena during the time of the winter weather and the schools getting out. we were able to accommodate very well the Alabama High School basketball tournament. And they did an outstanding job along with the indoor track meet taking place. And so I want to commend the mayor's staff and those that were involved with making those accommodations during the winter storm. So that being said, I'd like to move for a congratulatory resolution for Coach Emmanuel Bell and the Winona Lady Dragons on their Class 5A championship win against Brewer Tech from this past Saturday. They are the 5A state champions with a record of 32-3 and a regional record of 5-1.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Congratulations, Coach Bell. Congratulations, Faith, Jayla, Caitlin, Ty, to all of you all, young ladies, and the whole Winona Dragons basketball team. Now, here I am as a parent. My daughter.
The most important game.
Most important game, man. You're right about that. And I appreciate you being there on Saturday. But I want to congratulate Coach Javanka Ward, who is a constituent of my district. She is the daughter-in-law of Dr. Perry Ward, the president of Lawson State Community College, and she's married to my good friend and fellow Bulldog, Steve Ward, who's the head boys basketball coach at Huffman High School, and the Homewood Patriot girls basketball team winning the first ever Class 6A Alabama High School Athletic State Championship. There's also a little girl by the name of Leah Roberson, who's my oldest daughter, that had 9 points and 2 rebounds in that championship game against Blunt. Their overall record was 30-4, and their regional record was 9-0, and they finished the state #1 in the state. Move the congratulatory resolution.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, council, for your support. Mayor, it was an exciting game. And I want to dispel to all my haters out there, to all my haters that I love out there, if you know my family, we are educators. If you know the situation when I built my house in Oxmoor Valley in 2005, I built my home. The decree stated that a young child that was born in that area, lived in that area in 2005, they could attend Vestavia High School. Okay? We still have kids in my community, my district, go to Vestavia High School. Matter of fact, a few years ago when Hackett was the head coach of Vestavia, the whole team was just about black, and they went to Vestavia High School. To that point, my daughter went to Vestavia East in kindergarten initially, because we were zoned for Vestavia. And as a parent, I want the best for my child. And I didn't like Vestavia schools. It just so happens that my wife is an educator and spent many years in the Birmingham City Schools educating and got a job at Homewood High School. By state law, if an employee of a school system works within that system, their child can attend that school. Okay? So my kids go to Homewood, and they are zoned for Vestavia. Winona High School is a school in my district also, along with John Carroll. But my kids go to Homewood, and they will continue to get education at Homewood High School. And I want to let you all know that, and I still love you for those out there that want to make all the comments and post. Thank you. Next item, I'd like to rescind a resolution that I had spoken on last week as it relates to Mrs. Betty George Pinckney.
We did it already, Council.
We did. We said that already. Thank you all. All right. Thank you, Council. Long back to basketball then. Congratulations to Ramsey High School, too, on their second runner-up in the state, and the Woodlawn High School for making the Final Four. Neighborhood meeting at Oakwood Place, Neighborhood Association meetings tonight at 6. Jones Valley meeting will meet at Friday, March 6th at 4 o'clock at Powderly. West End Manor meets at New Hope Baptist Church next Monday, and Oxmoor Valley meet on next Monday at 6:30 at Oxmoor Valley Community Center. We will have a zoning ordinance meeting as soon as council concludes today, and thanks to your unanimous consent and vote, we will have a lunch. Thank you.
Thank you. My announcements, the council office is accepting applications for a vacant board position on the Jefferson County Board of Human Resources. If you're interested in applying for this position, submit a letter of interest and resume to my office no later than close of business Friday, March 27th. I did attend the Big Communications 20th anniversary party celebrating their 20th anniversary of doing business here in the city of Birmingham. They've been here, they've committed to staying here, and so we want to thank them, congratulate John Montgomery and all his team and staff. They've continued to work with the city for years and really helping to get our message out. They were very instrumental in the World Games application and bid and the presentation, so just want to thank them, congratulate them, and keep up the good work, and we look forward to another 20 years. Forest Park, South Avondale meets tonight, March 3rd, from 6:30 to 7:30 at Avondale Library, which was announced. East Lake meets tonight, March the 3rd, from 7 to 8, New Rising Star Baptist Church. Wahoma Neighborhood meets March the 5th on Thursday from 6 to 7 at East Lake Library. Smithfield meets Sunday, March the 8th from 4 to 5 to Legion Field Lobby, and Fountain Heights meets Saturday, March the 14th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Fountain Heights Recreation Center. The ALDOT has a community workshop for the 2059 bridge replacement project that will take place on Saturday, March 7th at the Fountain Heights Rec Center beginning at 10 a.m. And please note, councilors, there will be a special call committee of the whole meeting on Friday, March 13th at 1 p.m. in conference room D&E. Finally, I do have a neighborhood workshop. I don't have the exact date, but it's sometime scheduled in later March where we will be, where I will be meeting with my neighborhood officers, and we'll have a computer class where I will be leading and teaching my neighborhood officers the basics of computers, but also just as important as the basic of computing, I will be walking with them through the city's website, teaching them how to find the resources that they need that are most valuable to them as it relates, specifically like the budget and other things like that, the agendas. And so you all, Dr. Dickerson and your group, a few of you, we don't have a lot of room, but you're absolutely welcome to attend. And Courtney will give you the date. She's sitting right there, but she'll get you the date. You are welcome to attend, and just a few. Because we have limited space, and it's for the District 5 neighborhood officers, but I believe that you would absolutely benefit from being there, because it'll answer a lot of your questions that you have and continue to arm you with much more information so you can take it back to your group and your constituency to make sure that you have accurate information. And so the date, I don't know when it is, but Courtney can get you that information. I don't remember the exact date, but you are certainly welcome to attend. Mayor, you have
Yes.
one other before we close.
First of all, I want to thank all the neighborhood officers who participated this past weekend in the forum that we had to educate them as to processes of how city government work. We gave them information on upcoming changes to our communication in terms of the apps that are being developed so that people can communicate and find out information as to what's going on here in the city. And it was well attended. So I want to thank all the neighborhood officers, but in particular the entire staff for working to make sure that we had a program that we could really take pride in. I want to ask Bishop Calvin Woods. I forgot to bring him up under my report. Bishop, if you would come forward.
When does this committee go?
Giving obedience to the presence of the Holy Spirit, Honorable Mayor, President Austin, and to all of the other council members, brothers and sisters, I came with a message directly from the Lord this morning. A lot of time I come because I feel there's a need for me to come. I'm so thrilled as I look at the makeup of this council. I remember well over 60 years ago, and not that long, I was different. I've been fighting for what I felt was right all that time. But I bring a message. I had a visitation from some angels. They called me crazy doing 63, the record showed. And a lot of them strove to keep me back from certain meetings, don't bring him. But the Lord has been dealing with me. Check the record. Miss Bryant, Miss McDowell, since I was in elementary school. I didn't choose that. But I'll give you the name of some of the angels came to see me. Recently, a big condensate of it. Gabriel, How I know what his name? 2 of them were together in my front room. I was in the back room, heard all that commotion up the front room went up. One standing looked just like him. So his name is Gabriel. I heard him talking, but no mouths were moving. Let me hurry and get to what I want to say. I had another one come to me. I was in the bed, covered me in the bed, named Anastasia. I wouldn't know if she hadn't told me. A name, say you'd have jurisdiction, whatever that means, I don't know. 3 more came. They were up in the front room. I went back up there. They sat on the floor, angels sitting on the floor. Sat on the floor. I didn't say a word. I just sat down on the floor too and could see under everything. Everything looked like it was lifted up. Now let me get, can't tell you all of it right now and probably never will. But they told me to tell you all, Mayor and the council, to join hands in prayer. Now you pray all the time, but the results come in obedience. So I know y'all pray individual. Do what the Lord said. I saw a blizzard coming, and you could head off a lot of things. Y'all just do what the Lord said. May seem, say, I pray all the time. Just do what he said. He said just, y'all hold hands. Every one of you pray. Last night, my executive board, BSCLC, don't do a lot of hollering out. You can't be a member of my board unless you are a praying intercessor. We had intercessory prayer meeting last night for this city. Oh, I didn't tell you, and I lie not. Angel spoke to me about the children. We've got to redouble. I know you're concerned about children. Our concern for our children. They had parent at my house the other day when a 14-year-old girl got killed the next day. They called me, talked to one this morning, and I don't get into publicity to try to do everything I do. I'm 81 years old, and I'm so glad to be here. I just try to do what I can do, whether anybody know it or not. I think God left me around to be y'all's minister, whether you want me or not. I'm here for a reason. We ought to be concerned about children. We prayed for the children. Boy got killed over in Isley. His grandma in my church. A few months ago, somebody got shot over there in Tittisville, not far from South Hilton Church. Somebody said it didn't happen. I got the record, the bullet, the child's foot. They brought all that to me. And all of that. I had over 20 preachers there. We prayed right at the place. But we didn't push that too far. So God is concerned about children. We're going to have an intercessory prayer moment this Wednesday. We're going to have that near the Rickwood Park this Friday at 10 o'clock. We're going to have an intercessory prayer hour on the parking lot of the Abyssinia Baptist Church. And Lord told me to hold hands. If it's just 2 there, we're going to hold hands and nobody come. I'm just act like I'm doing what the Lord told me to do. So I came not of my own. I wouldn't lie on the Lord. There are other things I could say. But I love you all. You don't have an easy job. God's yoke is easy, his burden is light, but you got to endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. And your city is better when your citizens bring their concerns to you. Your responsibility is to address and deal with those concerns. I love you very much. Mayor, I'll be back. You let me come back and let me do this. My book is out. I won't talk about it too much. Walk with me. And I'm told that when you start reading it, you don't want to put it down. Walk with me from I was a little boy in the elementary school working in the civil rights movement with various groups and entities, and I want you to read it. And I appreciate y'all for putting up with me let me do this the Lord asked me to do. I heard some of the council folk talking about they praying. I know y'all praying folk. You couldn't do what you do if you didn't pray. This poem the Lord gave me, it's in the book. Some of your pictures in the book. Y'all didn't know it. See, folk, we get you when you don't know it. And things. Said nice things about all of you. Don't try to find out negative things. Nice things about you. The urgent need for prayer. To pray for our children, especially in this city. I'm here today to tell you the truth. Prayer is much needed every day. It's a great power to help brighten up our way. If true believers would get on their knees and with one voice cry, Lord, have mercy, please. The winds of hatred and confusion would cease, and all of God's people would then be at peace. Call Jesus, my friends. Call him right now. Even though Satan says no, call Jesus anyhow. We've had more tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods, volcanic eruptions since this nation began. Hot burning droughts, snowstorms have been in our land, leaving some parts soggy and others like desert sand. Some, too, would destroy the security of each man and put our country in the enemy's hands. By now, I hope you are disturbed at this crucial hour. Let's get on our knees. God will give us power. If from heaven our hearts have been touched, we will even do more praying in God's church. If we praying on Christ rely, our enemies will not be able to destroy us from the sky. If we are concerned and will truly pray, the enemies will not be able our land to invade. Our prayers will stop the mouths of lions. Prayer will put the devil on the ground. Yes, it will. Together, let us pray every day and tell the Lord to have his way. Pray for our cities, courts, and states. Pray for our nation every day. Prayer will truly keep us safe. Prayer will keep us spiritually awake. The time is urgent. The days are frightening. Come now. Our prayers must be swift as lightning. There you have it in a poem on prayer.
Thank you, Bishop.
Glory to God and peace on earth to men everywhere. Wait. Just a moment before you grin. Prayer won't let our enemies destroy us from within. This is no time for us to be playing. Let's get on our knees and let's do more praying. Thank you, Mayor, for putting up with the council. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Bishop. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'd like to thank Officer Lewis from Downtown Substation and Officer Mays from West Precinct. Councilor Hoyt has 2 neighborhood meetings. Fairview meets March 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Church of Fairview. Thomas meets March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Mount Hebron Baptist Church. Public safety meetings March 16th, 2015, 4 p.m. Council chambers. We have a motion to. Oh, did you?
So moved, Mr. President.
I just had one thing, but I'll ask the mayor after.
All right. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.